You see me okay?
I see you okay. And we're rolling. So, Mike Burke, welcome. Thanks for
What's up,
joining.
my man? Eric, Tint Wiz.
Tint Wisdom number 118. And when I was doing the title for this one, I looked back at one of the first ones we did together. And I think it was the first one. I just remember thinking at the time the lighting was bad because it was evening. And I remember thinking, this Mike is a very mysterious guy. Like, I kind of just thought you were like being mysterious at first because I didn't really know you that well back then. But it's just lighting.
Not a mysterious guy. I actually made a mistake and was in my movie theater with very low lighting and didn't realize it was that low. But man, I just want to say thanks for having me back on. And 2020 was a fantastic year. Looking forward to all the excitement 2021 holds for Sunstoppers. We look forward to trying the Tint Wiz app out, where you and I are working out some details next week to go through the long, extensive rollout of Tint Wiz, which will be really awesome. How's life with Tint Wiz, man? Talk about yourself a little bit, Eric. What's going on, man?
Life with Tintwas is good. We released a feature last week, which just made giving quotes savable and more. It's just faster, and you can save many versions of it and so on. And it was just like you know, it was just like sometimes you certain features kind of jump you even further, and I feel like this was one of them where it really took people who were like already maybe successful using Tinwiz and happy, but then it was like, holy shit, this just got a lot better. So we're kind of just riding that excitement, helping with customer service, helping people set up proposals and learn how to use the system.
I'm,
That's
I'm gonna
it.
be real. I'm gonna be really, really real with you, Eric. You and I are boys now. We're friends. We're family. You're welcome at my bar, as you can see in the background. You're welcome here anytime to come by and hang out with me. I consider you family, man. You're in the biz. We talk the lingo. Not everybody's in the circle. You're now in. You're in the family. Okay. But I'm gonna go ahead and give you some insight. I'm a dinosaur, bro. Like, I am old. I'm almost 48. Next Friday, I'll be 48. Been tinting windows for over 30 years. And just a few years ago, we went to Square for appointments and for all types of different digital. And it took an act of Congress to get me just to switch from a credit card swiper to digital. And I'm just going to be honest. There's a lot of old guys out there like me, because I was talking to Chris at my boy in Chicago, and we're just old guys, man. We've got to dumb this shit down so we.
So here's what it is. Here's what it is. I'll be very truthful and very honest with you because, like you said, we're boys, so I can be straightforward with you.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with age. I can say that with 1000% certainty because I speak to people who are in their teens and I speak to people who are
Right.
in their 70s. So, and everybody in between. So I'm certain it doesn't have to do with age. The one
Okay.
common denominator with feeling like it's hard to integrate is usually it's you before it actually becomes hard to integrate, you hear I'm not good with technology. I'm not good with this stuff. I'm not. And when you start off thinking you're not good at it, it's going to look difficult to you because you're already saying I'm not good at it. And I am certain that if somehow we could divert this tint wisdom right now, if we were to instead do a demo, which I was joking with you before, we won't like do that to everybody because we have stuff to talk about. But I
Can't
think
wait to do it.
you're like I want to screen record when we do it because I want to see your authentic going. You're right. It was a lot easier than I thought. I don't know why I thought this was so difficult. I can't believe it. Like I'm just saying, I'm not trying to talk shit. I want you to honestly have your reaction and so on. But I just feel like this is one I have to screen record because I was talking to somebody the other day, an Expel dealer, and they were telling me how excited they were about the proposals and how they were explaining to the receptionist how to do it, and they were so excited and this and that. And then they were like, "What can I do to help you share this?" And I was like, "Well, if I would have recorded this phone call, that would have been it." So the problem is, like, people tend to have their celebrations behind screen. You don't really know about it, and then other
Well,
people are going, "Well, this might be difficult," but I bet you it's not.
hey, Eric,
Huh?
I've got a secret.
Huh?
I'm not that smart, man. And but I am smart. See, I can say I'm not that smart, but I am smart. You know why?
Yeah.
Because I don't waste time doing stuff I'm not good at. And I hire these young girls that work at the front counter. And do you know one of the first questions in interviewing, and Thad kind of gave me this. The first question we ask somebody in an interview, can you set up an email address on your phone?
Right.
These young people, when I say young, I mean under 30, 25 to 19 is considered young to me. Okay. And they grew up with technology. They grew up with a phone in their hand. They grew up with Netflix. They grew up with on demand. They grew up with click a button and it's there. I still remember back when I had my pager when I first started tinting windows.
Me too.
Okay.
It wasn't in Windows at the time, but I had a pager. Got it the
Yeah,
mall.
so all I'm saying is that even though I may not be the right fit myself, the industry in a whole can hire the younger generation that can pick this stuff up in a matter of seconds. They can walk me through it because now our Square, we had a problem with Square, and one of the girls was like, "Oh, Mike, you just do this, and you just do this, and you just do this," and I'm like, "That's why I hired you, because you're smart,
Of
you
course.
know what you're doing, and you're on point."
Yeah.
And listen, I'm good at a lot of things, and I can get along with technology, no problem. I just can't have 20 other distractions going on in my brain
Of course.
while I'm trying to focus.
Of course.
And most tent shop owners, they're answering the phone, they're tinting cars, they're trying to pull cars in and out. They're just managing too much. And the secret sauce is to technically get the phones and the system out of the owner's hands. You got to get out of the owner's hands. You got to play the owner and quit being the owner in the shop. And, I do a lot of coaching. I travel around. I was just in Chicago doing paint protection training up there with my boy Chris in New Lenox. I spent 3 days with him. It was phenomenal. I love him. He's got the most. I thought I had a lot of energy. You get him and I in a room, man, and I don't even know if it's 4th of July every day or every second, because it's like every second we're just popping and popping, and it just the music's going, and he's popping his head, and we're just. I tell you, him and I could tint 100 cars in a day. I mean, he's just the nonstop Energizer Bunny, and I get fueled by that.
Yeah.
I might be a little bit older, but man, I can hang with them boys. I just might need an Epsom salt bath, a couple of old fashions, about 6 Advil. Uh,
Get out of here. So he's an example. Look, from my perspective, he's an example of what you just described. Somebody with a ton of energy, somebody who's going to take on all the work, but also somebody who might and I'm only speaking for myself here, but maybe somebody who would overwork themselves or like exhaust themselves because they're going to get the job done. And if there's more customers and they're going to do a great job, that's going to lead more jobs and so on. What was your experience like coming into 5 Star and
here's the thing. When I went up to, well, I got, a guy, he's fast talker, probably Midwestern, just a really good, charismatic guy on the phone, very passionate. You can hear his energy on the phone. You can tell he's a genuine person. He's got a heart of gold, wants to take care of the customer, wants to succeed. You can tell he wants to have multiple locations. He's limited by the staff that he's had in the past. He's now probably got a couple of good guys that he can grow with. And that's really the key, man. Success in business comes when you find that right employee that all of a sudden you click with and you're like, holy shit, I can leave the shop. He can answer the phone.
Right.
The place is not going to burn down. He's finally starting to get there. But my first impression was a guy that did not use a plotter. He was a hand cut guy. He was kind of pulling in every car at the same time, trying to get a system in place that really was kind of walking around all over the place and didn't flow very well. So just an outsider with a lot of experience coming in, giving him a different perspective. All I did was increase his productivity due to flow, due to efficiencies. We brought a plotter in. He was a guy that was very scared of technology. He was not wanting to embrace the plotter and didn't know how to use it. Within a day, he and I were kind of butting heads. The very next day, after we kind of cleared the air, the very next day, he opened up. I, kind of saw where his difficulties were. And it was just all of a sudden, it was a perfect marriage. And, he was very clicky. He's like, man, I got it. Let me do it. Let me get in there. And now, based on what his information is, he's increased productivity. He's increased sales. He's able to hire some more people due to the plotter because he's not the plotter anymore. He now can go do flat glass jobs. He's now just added paint protection. That he's going to do that with his new ceramic coating guy. When he was 5 Star, he was just a tent shop. Now he's doing ceramic coating. Now he's doing a lot more flat glass. Now he's actually doing paint protection. Sometimes people just need a coach and a little push. Just they're right there. They have the skills, they have the knowledge, they have the power, they know what to do, but they just need. It's like when you want to go make a purchase. I mean, you go, oh man, I don't know if I'm all about. And you just get that one buddy that you're having a drink with at the party. Goes,
Right.
man, go buy that, man. And next thing you know, it pushes you over the edge.
Right.
You could have done it on your own.
Right.
He's a phenomenal guy. He would have eventually got there without me. But just having that little push, that little extra confidence.
100%.
I think everybody in the window tinting industry, paint protection industry, they don't have people to like have their back, like bounce ideas off of. Man, I have failed 1,000 times. I've hired and fired so many people that I kind of know what to look for now when, and I'll be honest, I overpay my people sometimes. I overpay them to the point where it's like they can't afford to go open up a shop on their own.
Right.
And make the kind of money they make with me. So
you don't want to, you're not, when you're paying somebody, you're not trying to pay them the least amount possible. You're trying to pay them so they're happy and so you can have
I'm trying to get
the most,
listen,
right? The most you can afford to, because then they're not going to leave you. They're going to do a great job. They're going to love the job.
Well, Eric, one thing that I've learned over, 30 years in the business is, man, I was so emotionally attached to my business. I was so in control. I had to answer every phone call. I had to answer every email. I had to be in control. I had, everything was about me being in control.
Right.
I think when I got older and finally just realized that I need to be in control of my business, and the only way to do that is to empower my people. Let my people make mistakes. Let them fix their own mistakes. I don't think I told you this on the Tint Wiz one time before. If money can fix it, don't call me. Because I'm already going to have a bad day with the problem that you just caused. So don't call me telling me about the problem.
Right.
Just freaking fix it.
Right.
Because and just think about that, Eric. If money can fix it, just do it. Just fix it.
No, I get it. If a window breaks, if you ruin a door panel, if your dash gets burned, what are you going to do? You have to fix it, right? You have to pay for it. 100%.
Well, the difference is that if money can fix it, don't ruin my day too.
Yeah. Well,
don't bother me.
The thing is, like, it's right, because look, at the end of the day, it's the total. It's the total net. And what are you going to get out of that situation? There's nothing to gain there.
All they're going to do is piss me off, make me mad. I'm not going to fix it. It's going to cost me money anyway. So if my managers and the people that run the stores just turn around and take it upon themselves, and I realize that, $800 got to take it, or $300 got something. 100%. For a week later, I'm like, what the hell was this? Oh, so-and-so messed up this, and we had to fix it. And okay. Is the customer happy? Did it get fixed? Oh, okay, cool.
Once the customer's happy and it's just a number on a piece of paper, it's a small percentage of your day and of your month. It's a tiny percentage. There's no emotional attachment to it. If I have to hear about every aspect of what happened, what a waste of time. And you can only take so much of it.
I've been doing some traveling. I've been going around to some shops, and man, I learned so much. And a guy, I visited a shop. I'm not going to say any names, but I randomly pop into shops all the time. Like not even Sunstopper shops. I just walk in with my apron and be like, "Hey, man, you need a tinter today?" Yeah. And they're like,
"You have to film." I told you have to film it.
I was in Indianapolis, and was out there with a buddy of mine that does clear bra, and we were trying to increase his tint business, and we were just hanging out, just being friends. And I said, "Bro, get in the truck." He goes, "What?" I said, "Get in the truck." I said, "We're going to go visit some tint shops." He goes, because he's mainly a big clear bra guy, right? But he wants to do more tint. And he goes, "Man, we're just not doing enough tint." And I said, "Well, we'll get in the truck." So we get in the truck and we ride around. We go to like 5 or 6 different tint shops. I mean, I'm there 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And these guys are over there telling me how many cars they're doing, how booked up they are. Their showrooms are mediocre. They're dirty. They're, the lobby's like so-so. And they just look like their 10-year-old hasn't remodeled their store in years. The peel boards look like they have mildew all over them. And I'm not naming any names. I mean, these shops are great shops, and they're nice guys, but you can tell they're busy. They've been volume stores. When you're having a high volume, you're not thinking about all the details. But the guys were over there picking my brain. Mike, what do you do with this? How do you do this? What do you do this? And I said, man, if I had my apron, I'd start tinting with you. And a lot of guys were like, Mike, how did you get so much knowledge in the tint game? And I said, man, when I first started tinting windows, every year at SEMA, I used to go out to Vegas. This is like 20 years ago, and I'd go a week early, and I would go to a tint shop and say, "Hey, man, I'm from North Carolina, and I want to learn some more about window tinting, but I'm a tinter in North Carolina, and I want to see how you guys do things there." And man, these guys were cutting gaskets, bottom loading, pulling panels. They were doing taxi cabs. These guys were tinting 30, 40 cars a day in Las Vegas. And I can't even remember the name of the shop, but I was so blown away. There was one guy on one side, one guy on another side, one on the back. And one, I mean, it was like assembly line of cars. And when I came back to Charlotte and I was lightening Mike's window tinting at the time, and people were like, "Mike, how did you get so fast at window tinting?" I traveled.
I like that because it's like lightning, Mike. How did you get so fast at window tinting?
I traveled and turned around and learned from so many different window tinters, man. Believe me, I have learned from 100 window tinters in 30 years, and I'm still learning stuff today. I mean, I walk into these new guys that are in their 20s, and they're doing all these new techniques, and I'm just like, where the hell did you learn that? And so I try to add a little piece of everybody I come around of what they offer and say, I'm going to add a little bit of this. I'm going to add a little bit of that. And, if all these guys think they're the greatest window tinter in the world, go work with a bunch of people, man. If you ever go on vacation, I remember going on vacation years ago with my family, and I couldn't help it. The family would be like, "Hey, where are you going?" And I was like, "I'm just going to ride around and go look at some tint shops." I would be on vacation in other states, riding up into tint shops, just meeting people, trying to figure out how the shop's organized, what it looks like, what the display boards. And I remember seeing a back window of a pickup truck, like a solid back window, and the guy had like all the little individual. And I was like, "Man, that's cool." This is in the 90s, man.
Right.
Fast and the Furious area, and but constantly learning and evolving, and that's just what you're doing with the software, man. It's ingenious that this industry needs what you're doing. It's phenomenal. I think you're going to get so big one day, one of the big boys come write you a check, because I look at the film manufacturers. They're always trying to evolve, all of them. 3M, Suntech, Lumar, XPEL, they're all evolving, trying to find different revenue sources for the industry. And XPEL started off as a software company. You're starting off now as a software company, and you're evolving. I mean, everyone that does window tinting right now in the United States and even overseas knows who the hell Tint Wiz is.
I wish that was the case. I love that optimism that everybody knows.
No, they do.
But
I go on every freaking social media platform and I see a sticker, I see a shirt. I mean, you have guerrilla marketed so much, man. I'm so proud of you, man. I'm sitting there. I'm like, look at this guy. He has flyered the whole tint world. He has flyered the whole tint world with his stickers.
Truly, first of all, thank you. It actually has been pretty successful, and I appreciate that, and I'm really happy about it. And it obviously is like thanks to everybody, because it can't be successful without everybody. But really, what the grand thought behind that is to me, it's like, are you familiar with like Gary Vee? You must know who he is. Okay.
Yeah.
So I love Gary Vee. Now, I'm not a person who gets to listen to him all the time and so on, but like I love him. I listened to him years ago, and one of the things that stuck with me, at one point he said, he's going to build a honey company, a honey pot company, or a honey company. And what he meant by it was, he said, I'm going to build a company where like everybody just like loves the company. Like you want to work there, you have fun, you're successful, the companies you work with are fun. Like keep it to a point where everybody loves it so much that it eliminates a lot of the problems. And that was my intention with how I kind of structured. Like, why would I spend $1 million, not $1 million, but a lot of money on like ads? Why don't I just give it to the people who are enjoying the software and like the company, and let them be happy with that money? Like give it in merchandise, and so it just made sense. But where I'm going with this is ultimately what I'm trying to, the grand lesson in that marketing, what I'm trying to hopefully influence is that the things that you and other tinters hopefully see Tint Wiz doing are things that everybody can take to their business. So if a tinter comes into our live chat, let's say, our customer service, and they have a problem, we're going to be super kind, super polite with them. We're going to try to find a way that when they get done with that conversation, they're going to go, "This is amazing, thank you." Even if it means sending them a free t-shirt. I mean, whatever I have to do to make them happy, but happier than they expected to come in. They came in with a problem, they left with a t-shirt type of scenario. And the point is, those are things that everybody can adopt and implement in their own business. Not in exactly that way, but they can go on to that next phone call with somebody calling for PPF or calling for tint with that same enthusiasm and make that customer try to make their day. Don't just give them a quote, move on to what you're doing. Try to make their day. Try to make them leave that call saying, that new dude was the nicest freaking guy I've spoken to. Like, he must love his job. And if you do that, everything becomes easy. And I think you know that because you're pretty laid back yourself.
Was for 20 years?
Huh.
You know what my really biggest problem was for 20 years? Every customer that came in left a friend, and every 2 or 3 years they'd come back wanting the buddy price.
Well, I can tell you, Tint Wiz is $100 a month, and it's never $99. So I'm just telling you, that is what it is. But
yeah.
Go ahead.
Now, customers would come in the door. I would make friends with them. We would turn around and chat, become friends. And then, all of a sudden, 2 years later, hey, buddy, hey, Mike, you're my, and it's so funny now that the company's gotten bigger that all my friends that I went to high school with, that I've tinted their car 15, 20 years ago, they still reach out to me. And they're like, hey, man, what's my price? And you know what I tell them? Which store do you want to go to? And they go, well, I want to go to the Matthews store. I said, okay, great. Call Monica, book appointment, and tell her to give you the dealer pricing. And so what happened is like people were like, Mike, your buddy came in. He wanted me to tint your car for $150. He said that you told him that he could get his car tinted for $150. I never talked to the guy. I don't know who the hell the guy really is. I can't even remember the guy. But these guys come in and just work my staff over all the years of relationships that I've built. Mm-hmm. So now my staff has one general rule. We have a retail pricing. We have a retail discount pricing. And then we have a wholesale dealer pricing. Okay. And so now I turned around and said, just tell all the friends that call me or whatever, just say, give them our dealer pricing. And you know what the thing is? My front counter girls don't need to argue with the guy. They don't need to talk to the guy. They just go, hey, our normal price is this. Mike's already said, he called me. He texted me. He said you were coming. And he said to give you our dealer pricing. Right. So I don't quote prices at all, ever, really anymore at all. I just say, if you need a job, pick a shop, book the appointment, and go in and get your dealer pricing. Right. There you go, buddy. Happy tinting.
Yep.
And then it saves my relationship and friendship with people. So I'm kind of out of the equation.
Yeah.
And a lot of tint shop owners, I had told them that over the last year or two. And one of my buddies that runs a tint shop, he's like, bro, that's ingenious. I love that. That's a great rule. That way I don't feel, because a lot of tint shop owners, man, they feel guilty. They're like, oh man, all right, bro, I'll hook you up. And then they leave. And that guy's the pickiest son of a bitch, and actually has a little speck in his window, and you just gave him, $100 off, and he's going to nitpick you to death.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, they everybody liked the dealer pricing system. One reason, or one thing I want to bring up on Tint Wiz is we just launched the new sunstoppers.com website.
So real quick, somebody asked earlier, and I feel like this might be a great place to start. Somebody just simply asked, what is Sunstoppers? So why don't we start with that?
Sunstoppers is a guy that started tinting windows in 1988 who tried to work in corporate America and realized that he likes working with his hands. And I had my very first company called Lightning Mics, which I learned a ton about, the infancy of window tinting, accessories, wheels, tires, stereos. And I was doing so many different things, man. I was doing accessories, graphics, tint, everything. So later in life, I got rid of that model and created Sunstoppers as a sticky material business. People ask me all the time, they go, what kind of work do you do? And I said, I'm in the applied sticky material business. I put on stickers. They go, what do you mean? I said, if it sticks to something, I put it on. So what Sunstoppers really is a company that is a brand. Like 3M's a brand, Starbucks is a brand, Tint Wiz is a brand. So many people try to brand their business around the manufacturer. I don't know how many years ago, even when I was young at Lightning Mics, it was, hey, I'm, Lightning Mics powered by Suntech or whatever. You would almost broadcast the whole store with the manufacturer of film, but you forgot to brand your brand, your name.
Right.
So what happens is that I have a marketing degree from college. I worked in advertising a little bit. I worked in car sales. When I got out of college, I sold cars. And I worked in management a little bit. I kind of learned the ins and outs of finance and dealing with the customer and reading the customer. But Sunstoppers now is a window tinting company who invest their time and energy in other window tinting and paint protection companies on being a consultant, also training. I train window tint. I trained a guy how to tint windows in a week. Flew to Boston. He was green. He was from Brazil. I spent a full week with the guy. He now tints 2 or 3 cars a day after a week of training. I just spent 3 days in Chicago training those guys. They had a little bit of experience. I kind of polished them up, and we did 3 full front ends on cars while I was there. They made money, paid for my trip, and now I have a great working relationship with those guys. Another thing, Sunstoppers, is we do roller shades, blinds, paint protection, ceramic coating, and window tinting. I'm in the process of going after really big flat glass jobs now. We've got a couple really big ones outside of my area. I'm working with some big manufacturer of glass companies. We've gotten in with some estimators. We've got Amazon distribution centers. We've got a Facebook store that a big building we're doing for them. I've got a university in Atlanta that I'm doing the whole entire campus.
So, okay, just would it be fair to say, if somebody's completely still clueless as to what Sunstoppers is, would it be fair to say, imagine a franchise, but it's not a franchise. You're not paying a part of your business to anybody. Your business income's completely your business, but you have support, you have the marketing, and it's more of a membership into that support, marketing, and branding. Is that
Eric? What happened is I played sports for my whole life. Okay. And I missed my team. You know, if you talk to many athletes, anybody that played sports anywhere from high school, college on, when they get in their regular life, have kids, move on, they miss the camaraderie. They miss that actual team sweat in the gym, competing with each other. Okay. Competing with you. So what I do is I try to motivate people to compete with themselves from last week to the year before. And I'll call people out. I'll call you at 6 o'clock in the morning on the way to the gym. And I'll call people out. I will motivate you. I will get you up doing push-ups. And I will call you out and say, bro, don't make me drive up there and do $2,000 in window tinting today. You know, you're leaving money on the table. I'm holding people accountable. I'm a coach. You know, every good athlete in the world had a coach, number one. Number two, if you're competitive at all, you want to do better this year than you did last year, right?
This
you
week
want to move
than you
forward.
did last week?
All you want to do is move forward just a little bit. If you're a tent shop or a paint protection shop or whatever, and you just want to maintain, don't call me. I want the guys that are ambitious, driven, hungry, ready to go out there and kill themselves to become the best. And if you're that guy that has that fire and that passion, call me, because I will meet you fire to fire, passion for passion, car for car, and I will put my apron on a tent for free just to show you that we want to work together, because it's camaraderie. It's a brotherhood. I was in a fraternity in college and I had to pledge like 6 weeks or 8 weeks, and I had to kill myself to be part of this fraternity. And then once I became this fraternity, we were brothers. We had each other's back. Mm-hmm. So I've got flat glass guys not flat glass, automotive tent shops that don't really do much flat glass. So a guy called me up and he's like, Mike, I just got a guy called, wanted the hotel, wanted the building done. I can't do it.
Right.
I said, bro, if we get the job, I'll bid it. Give me the work. I'll supply my crew in. We'll do it. I'll finance the whole thing. I'll give you 20%. Just go bid the job and tell them Sunstoppers is bid. I'll do everything. So I'm trying to network and find the weaknesses of other people, because, you know, like a window tinting shop that doesn't do paint protection, there's got to be a paint protection guy in your town. There's got to be a paint protection shop in your area that you could use as a resource to create the lead and to capitalize some type of profitability. If it's $100 a car, you could call a PPF shop in the area and say, hey man, I'm so-and-so tent shop and I don't do paint protection, but I want to build a working relationship with you, and I'm going to send you that referral. Is it worth $100? Is it worth a steak dinner? And then guess what? The paint protection shop's going to go, bro, I don't do window tinting. And then all of a sudden you get a building together. Next thing you know, you create a business together. Next thing you know, you've got a network together. That's what you're doing with me. I'm creating networks of all the people that I've met in 30 years, and I'm bringing all those resources to the table right now. That's marketing, advertising, lead generation, coaching, tent training, PPF training, flat glass training. I will even finance flat glass jobs. So a lot of tent shop owners can't finance a $40,000, $50,000 job because they got to buy the film, they got to pay for labor, and they got to wait 60 days on their money. Mm-hmm. Call me. I'll finance the whole damn thing.
So you have 28 locations as of right now?
Yes, sir. 28.
under the Sunstoppers umbrella. So what out of that 28, give me an example, give everyone an example of like, what did the typical tint shop look like coming in? And then what did that shop look like maybe a year later? Like what, like in generality,
I mean, simple things. We send graphics. We kind of do small remodeling. I do efficiency training.
So
I do
like,
sales training.
let's take Chris Queen. Actually, we're talking one location business,
Okay.
owner
Yep.
plus maybe 2 or 3 employees,
Okay.
banging out cars, busy shop. Now, one of the things I know because I saw it was the lobby area was redone in his shop, significantly redone.
Total remodel on the lobby. New front counter space, square operating system with the digital new operating system on the front counter. He gets our credit card processing rate, which is 1.9 with Square.
So hold on real quick. If we talk about just that entrance, like his lobby, he's had that lobby probably a little while, at least a few years. I think he's been in that building at least. What did it look like before? Because I know
He used to have video games and a leather couch that looked like employees slept on it every day.
Right. And then now there's an actual counter that you walk up to. The staff is on the other side of it. So now it's more of a sales experience, right? There's there's a demo for PPF.
I took everything out of the lobby that customers don't need to look at to make a buying decision. Only have in there a heat lamp, 3 display boards, and maybe a poster talking about a banner or a poster talking about what window film is.
Yeah, or maybe a cross-sell on a home tent or something. But the point is, every inch of that room is valuable for the customer. It shouldn't feel like your living room. Not saying Chris's was, because I don't know what it looked like, but I'm saying it shouldn't have your favorite trophies on the wall. That doesn't help anything.
It looked like a clubhouse.
Okay.
Now it looks like a corporate sales center.
Cool. And then
we brought a plotter. We brought a plotter in.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't a plotter guy. We brought a plotter in. We created some efficiencies, and he was a phenomenal tinter, man. This guy's a great tinter. I mean, he's one of the best. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But he was just doing things the way I used to do things 10 years ago, but creating a process to where he can actually do cars more efficiently, empowered his people. So it's not about Chris. Chris wearing the hat of 10 people. The guy's a superstar. He's a rock star in the industry. Okay. But there's a lot of guys that are out there like him that just can't move forward. He's now got a new van. He's wrapping it. He's now doing more flat glass work than he's ever done.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, Eric, in the last 2.5 weeks, we have organically, not paid for leads, 37 leads off our website for him. Organically.
I mean, look, he's commented. I just want to point out, like, he's commented in there, in the comments, like throughout the Tint Wizdom, positive things. But Joseph, Joseph, his, I think, head tinter now. He was on Tint Wizdom a few weeks ago. He said specifically, all the things you brought to us were absolutely life-changing. I'm just saying, this is kind of one of those simple things, because some people are probably looking at this going, this sounds awesome, I'm going to do it. And some people are probably like, I'm skeptical. I'm just simply saying, I don't know what you could have done for Joseph in Chicago that he would come on Tint Wizdom and say that if that wasn't the case. And that to me is how I try to judge things. I don't try to imagine, just try to look at, are people happy or are they not happy? And they seem pretty fucking happy right now.
Eric, I'm just going to be honest, man. I'm a genuine guy. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2", 240 pounds. I'm very intimidating. I literally could work 1 day a week, drink at my bar every night and not give a shit. I really could. My business is very successful. We do very well, but it's very lonely. It's very depressing. And to be honest with you, man, Chris motivates me. I'm the coach. But at the end of the day, he's the one that sparks me. He's the one that fired me up. When he says, Mike, I need you, come here and teach me paint protection. I got on the next plane. I was there, and I was treated like royalty when I walked in the door. He had some stupid ass pizza there. I was like, bro, go to New York, get me a piece of pizza. But I'm just kidding. That was a joke. I'm just saying that he had some pizza. And I'm like, bro, I work out at 6 o'clock in the morning every morning. If I eat pizza, man, there's no way I could work. But man, these guys want to get better. Okay. It's like a student in school. You have a teacher that the student over here is getting straight A's and they're not doing their homework. They don't even give a shit. They're just smart. Okay. There's just certain people in school, like it comes natural. Chris comes to me eager to learn, eager to do the processes and ask for help. He's sitting there going, Mike, what would you do? What would you do? What would you do? And as soon as I tell him what I do, I leave. A week later, he does every single thing I told him to do. And he goes, Mike, you're right.
Right. And every time you train him, you're sharpening your skills. He wants to.
Just sharpening my
You're energized by that. You get excited when you want to talk.
I got home and I was on cloud 9. He called me the next day. I did not ask him to make some post on Window Film Revolution or his page about me or the experience. I'm super humbled by it, man. To be honest with you, listen, I don't need to go out there and talk about myself anymore. If Sunstoppers hasn't already done that, I don't need to talk about my accomplishments, because my accomplishments are helping guys like Chris. My future accomplishments are helping the next tent shop, where he goes from doing 150,000 this year to 300,000. And he calls me on a Friday afternoon. He goes, "What's up, motherfucker?" And I go, "What's up, dude?" And he goes, "Man, I can't wait to see you at dealer conference. I miss you." And, my birthday's next Friday, and I met some guys at dealer conference, and I'm getting on a plane and I'm flying to Boston. Then I'm getting in a car and I'm driving to Long Island. I'm having dinner with one of my buddies that owns the largest paint protection store in Long Island, Detail Dynamics. Then I'm getting on a car and I'm driving to New Jersey, and I'm having dinner Saturday night with people I met in this industry, because now they're my fraternity brothers. I'm celebrating my birthday. People for the last 2 or 3 weeks have been asking me what I want to do for my birthday. What do I want to do for my birthday? And all I kept saying is, I just want to see my friends. I just want to see my friends. Well, don't you have friends in Charlotte? Yeah, I do, but they're not my brothers, man. My brothers are the people that do what I do every single day. They get up, they answer the phone, they work in their shops, and they hustle, and they kick ass every day. Those are the people that can relate to me. Those are the people that respect me. And those are the people that want to see me. And I want to get on a plane and come see them. And I told them, I'm buying dinner. It's my birthday, but I'm buying dinner, because I'm celebrating them being in my life. I value them in my life. And that's what I want. I want people to call me and say, Mike, I value you in my life.
Yeah.
That's what fuels me.
Yeah. I get it.
Money's so easy to make, Eric. Eric, money is the easiest thing in the freaking world to make.
No.
You know what's hard to
Problems are easier to make. Go ahead. I'm just kidding.
Money is so easy to make, man. The problem is, most people make the money and they got nowhere to enjoy it. They want to buy a fancy car. They want to buy a fancy boat. They want to buy a fancy house. Bro, that's so fake. I'm so sick of that crap, man. I'm about to sell my Mercedes because I'm just like, man, I don't even want that shit no more. Like, I don't even want crap. I got a big Sprinter van that's like a pimped out van.
Oh, okay. That one, I gotcha. I thought it was.
And, it's cool, man. I get it. But you know what the thing is? I watch TV shows. I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. Let me buy that. I buy it a week later. I'm like, what the hell was I doing? I'm so stupid.
So let me ask you this. When Chris asked you to come to train, I assume he asked you to come to train for PPF. You were there last weekend. When did he ask you to come out there? Like when?
All right. So when I came out there about 3 months ago and did tent training, not tent training, but tent processes and sales, kind of went through the Sunstopper makeover. He turned around and said, man, I really want to get into paint protection. About a week or two later, because he knows how much paint protection we do in Charlotte. And he's like, man, we really got to get into the paint protection. And I said, bro, paint protection's no joke, man. Paint protection, you got to have your headphones on. You got to have hyper focus. And you can't just bang out paint protection jobs like you bang out window tint. And you got to have one dedicated guy in the company that just solely does paint protection. And you need to do 1 or 2 cars a week to keep your skill level up. And I told him, I said, listen, you get 2 or 3 full paying jobs, like you paying jobs. The material's expensive. It's a very expensive material, and it's expensive to waste it. So if you want to get the training, you need to at least have the money on these cars to generate my plane ticket and my hotel. And I didn't even charge him for the training. I just said, bro, cover my hotel, cover a meal or 2, and, take care of me while I'm there, and I'll come train you for 2 or 3 days. No problem. So he generated revenue on these cars. So he finally got cars that were made an appointment. He finally got cars that were definitely going to come, and they were definitely paying jobs. And I said, when you got paying jobs and my schedule's open, I'm coming. And I found out about a week prior that he had these cars or 3 cars. And I said, I'm there, no problem. And then we trained, and I went and did a full front ends, and I took my time, and I actually made mistakes on purpose. I made lift lines. I got them out. I showed him starring. I showed him blisters, and I just kind of went through the process. And it's 3 inches, 4 inches, stop. 3 inches, 4 inches, stop. You've got to be so patient with paint protection. It's and he picked it up so quick, man. His detail guy, that's there, his ceramic coating guy, both of them they're going to be phenomenal. It's probably going to take them about 5 or 6 cars, but once they get about 4, 5, 6 cars and they get their confidence, they're going to knock it out of the park, bro. They're going to.
Check this out. You went out there on what I call short notice to do training, because I know there's shops out there that have been wanting to get into PPF for now over a year, and because of COVID haven't been able to make it out to training that has been rescheduled. Now I know there is training available throughout different areas and so on, but my point is that you brought up some great points. Number one, in this scenario, Chris Queen was able to generate money from the jobs to cover training. Number two, he was able to generate money all day that day with all of his staff because he wasn't traveling somewhere else. Number three, the cost was of you to travel and not his 3 guys to travel. So he trained 3 or 4 people at the cost of 1, versus most scenarios where you're shutting down your business for 2 or 3 days, taking 3 or 4 people somewhere, which in most cases, I think completely changes the financial possibility of doing it. Because if you're saying, I know I can fly Mike Burke in, I can pay a hotel, we can pay for food if that's all it, and we have a couple jobs to do that we got paid on, that's not a big deal. But flying 4 guys and getting hotel rooms for everybody, or sharing beds and food and breakfast and lunch and dinner and Ubers, and that's a different ballgame. That's a 5, 6, 7x cost at least, right?
It is. Yeah.
I'm just saying,
and, you know what the difference is, Eric? I have a relationship with Chris right now that he's going to come down to Charlotte because he wants to get a little bit better at the ceramic coating. He wants to learn a little bit more about our facilities. And I now have, and listen, business to business, I have a lot of respect for him. He has a lot of respect for me. But I now have a friend for as long as I want him. And as long as he wants me, he can call me anytime, day or night. I got his back. You can't buy that. You can't go to the store and go, let me write a check for a really close friend. And we share the same problems. We share the same experiences, and we share the same passion. You got to understand, when you're an NFL football player and you retire, you want to hang out with football players because that's just what you knew. You know what I'm saying? You want to go to the gym with those guys. You want to hang out because you can talk the talk. You can talk the lingo. Most professional athletes within 3 years are fighting depression. You know why they're fighting depression? Because they've lost their identity. They don't know who they are anymore. Well, I've already reached a level of success in Sunstoppers that I want to help the business grow. But man, to be honest with you, bro, I'm kind of reaching out to myself, going, man, I love building new relationships with people, man. I was on the phone last night at 9:00 with a guy named CJ in Canada. He reached out to me on Facebook about learning about marketing, because we do marketing for companies. We do Facebook ads, Google ads. And he was in Canada, and he's a small one-man shop. I spent 2 hours, not an hour, probably an hour talking to him twice. I reached out to the Expel rep in Canada last night to see if he could be an Expel rep. He's in a town where there's like 3 really big Expel dealers, so he can't be. I think he orders Lumar or Steak or something. And he does window tint, ceramic coating, and paint protection. He has a shop, nice young man. And he wants to grow. He's very ambitious. And he just said, Mike, would you mentor me? I said, absolutely. He messaged me today thanking me for the time that I spent with him on the phone. And, man, that just warmed my heart, man. I just warmed my heart when these people reach out to me and they appreciate the time that I give them. And I'm not asking for money. I'm just saying, bro, I don't mind helping this younger generation, because now if I ever go to Canada and I go to Ontario and I say, hey, CJ, I'm in town, you don't think that some bitch is going to take me to dinner and buy me a drink? Hell yeah.
And if you wanted to be a Sunstopper, somebody had asked if they can be a Sunstoppers in Canada. You could be, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
Right. And then if you wanted to be a Sunstopper, somebody else asked what the cost is. How does the cost structure work?
No cost.
There's no
Just
cost.
talk to me. No cost. Just
Wait,
sign up.
I feel like something has changed since the last Tint Wizdom if there's no cost, no?
No, the cost is in the membership, for the website, for the development, for basically you're getting support, and all that money, I can show you where it goes. It's kind of like, it sounds too good to be true, but it is. So the money you spend with me every month goes back into the franchise, goes back into marketing, goes back into everything to make the search engines more powerful.
Right.
I mean, what I pay in SEO is probably what some window tinting shop owners make a month.
Does pricing vary on the shop or on the situation or what they're looking for and so on, or is it flat across the board?
Same flat fee for everybody, the same.
Is that pricing that you disclose publicly? I don't want to ask you questions you don't want to answer, but I'm just curious.
I mean,
people are
it's
asking about pricing.
To be honest with you, the license of Sunstoppers is $500 a month. 500. It gets you the logo and it gets you a listing on our website. We take over your Google My Business page. We help you with marketing. We do coaching and sales training. We give you graphics, business cards, letterhead. We basically send you all the stuff you need for any company vans.
So entry level, at least, like entry level. If somebody has $500 a month, that's good enough to get going.
You can join.
Okay, because I feel like that's important, because if somebody's listening to this, they could be imagining like thousands of dollars a month. It's $500 a month. It's the cost of most like carpet.
If you're going to do the cutting software, we have an exclusivity with Expel, and their cutting software is $300 a month. And we have a master account that you would be under, so we can help you log in and help you with patterns and help you with our patterns, the ones that we tweak and edit. But that's part of the processing. We have a marketing plan. So if you want to do Google AdWord campaigns, we have a full-time videographer on staff. We have a full-time photographer on staff. We generate, right now, we spend about $30,000 a month in marketing between Google and Facebook. So when we do ads, Google and Facebook recognizes our ads instantaneously, because I have a whole team that manages all the ads for all these shops. And we organically can see which ones work, which ones don't work, we're down to $3 to $5 a paid ad. A lot of these guys they don't know what they're paying for. You're buying a Google ad company to do your Google ads, but they don't specialize in what we do. I have a team of people that have been working with me for years that understand the industry. They understand what we're doing, and they're paid by me. They're not paid by these guys. So you get everything at my cost. Everything.
Right. So the idea is what the money you're putting in, it's an investment. You should be getting way more of it back. It should be a multiplier. And then Jamal had asked, what if, I would say, and I kind of want to answer this one, because he had asked, what if I have that already? Now, I don't know at what stage he mentioned what if he has that already in what you were saying, but I feel like the answer to it is whatever you have, you don't really have to worry about, unless maybe it can be better. But what are the things you don't have that you can benefit from? Because it's not about I
think what people have to understand is they're managing one store. We're managing 28 stores on marketing help, coaching help, buying power. So when you go to a manufacturer, whichever manufacturer it is, and you go to any supplier and you say, I'm buying $1.5 million of material, you're going to be able to buy it at a discount because you're buying in bulk.
So let's take his scenario. He actually followed up and said he has Google My Biz. Sure. And he has Expel software already. So if we're chopping that off the bat, now here we go.
How many organic leads is he generating a month off his website organically? Not paid ads.
So the answer would be it's going to be more with Sunstoppers.
It's a multiplier. Whatever you're doing with us is going to be it's going to be on steroids, because we have a team of people that all they do is that. You're paying someone to manage your website. You're paying someone to do Google ads. You're paying someone to do Facebook ads. We had a paint protection ad where we destroyed the entire front hood of one of our loaner cars, and we just created a national TV campaign.
It was like an enterprise car, or
it's my car.
Oh, okay, it was your loaner car, like for your customers.
It was our loaner car. We destroyed. We did half of it with PPF, half of it with not, and we did a voiceover. I mean, this commercial costs like $5,000.
So I saw a commercial. I saw a commercial for PPF, a Sunstoppers one. I wanted to mention this, and you just reminded me. And what I really liked about it was, I'm not sure if part of it was Expel's video. It was the one where I think it might be the one you're talking about. You were throwing rocks all over the hood. There was a tape down the middle.
That's us.
So here's what I really liked about that specifically. I wasn't sure if that was Expel's video or your video, number one. But what I really liked was, I just simply thought, that's a really perfect video and how it was edited, that you could obviously crop in any Sunstoppers location in between the clips. I mean, I'm sure that's your plan and so on, but it was well executed. Because it's
say I do a $4,000 or $5,000 video, but I created the video to be content for all 28 stores.
Right. Well, as a
So
store, look, as a store, you can hire your own videographer, you can plan it all. And it sounds maybe easy, but when you go to do it, it's a pain in the ass because it's a lot of time, it's a lot of this and a lot of editing. And did it come out right? And what really should be in there? It's not that obvious to everybody.
Eric,
So,
that video you're talking about, Chattanooga, Tennessee, he goes and says, I want to spend $500 on paint protection ads in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We put his phone number, edit the ad,
right.
and we start running the ads in his area. And he has that ad already in our arsenal. That's part of what we already do.
Right.
He doesn't have to pay for the video.
Right.
We already got it.
Right. That's it. And I always thought, in my mind, that was the job of the manufacturers, to be taking their creating videos, taking their dealers, implementing it for them, because you're a tinter, you're not a video editor, and then supplying it for them and so on. Now that didn't happen, so it created opportunities for Sunstoppers to come in and make it happen.
To be honest with you, man, I really love marketing. I have a marketing degree from college, and that's my passion too, is marketing. So when I create cool ads and I can give those ads to other people and they can use them, and it didn't cost them anything to generate high resolution, quality ads. And all I got to do is say, what's your ad budget? That's part of your membership. Like you just joined the gym, and now you have a nutritionist. Now you have a coach. Now you have a personal trainer. Now you have a blender, a dietitian at the bar that's making your meal preps. Like with Sunstoppers, you have an a la carte menu of services available to you. Whatever you need for your business, I have a team of people ready to do that for you at a fraction of the cost. We've already done all the labor. We've already done the heavy lifting.
Right.
So, I mean, here's the thing. A lot of these guys are just don't really understand what's going on. Until you get on the phone, it's like me with Tint Wiz. I don't really understand Tint Wiz, but next week, you and I are getting on an hour call, and I'm going to go step by step, and I'm going to learn the shit out of Tint Wiz. Well, guess what? If people have any interest whatsoever or curious whatsoever, Sunstoppers can do for them, pick up the damn phone, call me, or message me. And if I don't answer, text me and call me back.
Yeah.
I get 300 phone calls a day.
Yeah.
If I miss one or two, I apologize. It's not purposely intended, but just reach back out to me and text me back and say, give me a call at your earliest convenience. And bro, I'll call you. I'll talk to you for 30 minutes. If I can't help you in your business, I will personally tell you, man, your business is doing phenomenal and there's nothing I can do to help you.
And that's the thing. If you talked earlier, you said, like, oh, I'm not smart about you. And like, usually that's said by smart people. It's bullshit. You're not smart. The people who are not smart don't say that because they think they're smart. So anyway, flip it around. My point being, if why you're so smart and why everybody should evaluate, like look into yourself for a sign of intelligence or like remind yourself, basically is what I'm getting at, is remind yourself to be open-minded. To me, being open-minded is something that I've tried to train myself to be. So when I hear somebody's idea, my thought isn't, how would I do it? What could they do better? I go, right. I'm trying to understand what's in their brain. And just like I don't want somebody to assume when I'm trying to explain something, what I'm saying, I want you to listen to me, not assume what I'm going to say, but hear me. I want to do that same thing, because if I listen to Mike Burke, if I call Mike Burke and I say, hey, Mike, I have a tint shop. I don't see how you could help me, but let's chat about it. I'm going to only learn. Now, at the end of the phone call, like you said, I can say, now I understand Mike Burke better. I don't want to do it. Or you can say, I learned something that I didn't know before. But if you don't give yourself the opportunity to learn it, you just never know. You don't know shit. You just never find out things. And you start to make blind decisions.
Well, the thing that we're having a problem with right now is the new website's generating so many leads. We're getting leads in cities that we're not in. Like I'm getting Tesla leads for paint protection, ceramic coating in states that we don't have any Sunstopper support. So our next video is going to be a live reality show of me getting on a plane with my crew. And we're going to get a customer that has a Tesla that wants paint protection, ceramic coating, and window tint. We're going to computer cut everything. We're going to video us cutting it and getting it prepared. We're going to charge the guy, say $4,000 or $5,000 to do paint protection. We're going to charge him $1,000 to tint it and maybe $800 to coat it. So we're going to get like a $6,000 ticket out of this. Okay. We have customers right now in the SKU that Thad and I are working on trying to close the deals. And we're going to video us coming to your town and do the work at the customer's house. We're going to have the tent already shrunk, have everything already ready to go. And we're going to come in with my team and we're going to stay at the Ritz-Carlton or the highest 5-star hotel.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna go stay at the best Ruth Chris. We're gonna eat at restaurants that are like off the charts, and we're gonna come in and we're gonna go. Okay, we had $6,000. We did it in 1 or 2 days or whatever it was when we did the car at this guy's house. We came into your city, and the lead that came organically. We didn't pay for it. It came from sunstopper.com. And you know what? I'm going to video the whole thing. I'm going to broadcast it on the paint protection forums and the tint forums. And if you want to be part of free fucking leads, join Sunstoppers, because we're going to come to your town and take your money.
I think that's the commercial clip right there. You just clipped that. So there's a couple questions that I think are like, I think we should knock out of the way. The Tint Shop asked a bunch. He said, damn, I want to be a part of that. However, my market is too small. Would it help in a super small market? He said, I get 3 cars a week, 1 residential a month. And then he said, so $500 a month membership for what? Sorry, came in late. I have a big opportunity market here, but not sure how to get in it. So I'm a little confused by a big opportunity market, but mentioned a small market earlier. There was one other question I'll throw in there at the same time, that so you can just kind of answer it. Jesse asked if it would help a mobile tinting business, and Jesse does flat and auto, but is exclusively mobile, or do you have to be a brick and mortar establishment to be a Sunstopper?
Here's the thing. I started off mobile for 3 years. When I started window tinting, well, let me go way back. My very first tint shop was Innovations Auto Tinting and Detailing in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I had a brick and mortar shop, and I went down there with $19,000 in the bank. I came home a year later with minus 300. I learned a lot of mistakes. I failed. I drank. I partied. I tinted. I just didn't know how to run a business. I was young. I'd right out of school. I went back to selling cars. And when I came back to Charlotte after leaving the beach, I actually started a mobile window tinting business called the Tint Man. And I worked out of a Toyota 4Runner, and I had all the film in the back. And I worked at accessory stores, car dealerships, stereo shops. And I would just go freelance window tint wherever I could find work. Okay. And I got so busy mobily after 3 years. I literally could not drive the city anymore. I had so much work, I couldn't even get to all the work. And my accounts were getting mad at me because I was supposed to be there at 12 and I didn't show up till 3, because my last account that I was at ended up giving me 2 cars instead of 1. And so I started to spread myself way too thin. And then my money that I made got capped. I could only, every day I could only make, bam, my ceiling of money got capped. And when I started feeling that cap is when I actually went and got a brick and mortar store and opened up my first store called Lightning Mike's in Charlotte. And I opened up a window tinting shop, and I became very popular, and I hustled and I worked, and I used that same mobile. I think if a guy starts off mobile, he is a better tinter, hands down, than anybody else in the industry, because he has to deal with contaminants being mobile. He has to deal with trying to make the work clean, working off, peeling off the door panels. And he just has to learn how to be fast, because if you don't get the film peeled and stuck to the window really quick, the wind comes and you're dealing with so many more variables. Okay. And when you get a brick and mortar store, you get your glass, your lights, your drop ceilings, and your epoxy floors. You're like in heaven, man. And then the customers now are coming to you.
So I think for him specifically, like I know he mentioned to me like that he wants to open a location. So
Absolutely.
He's headed there, but right now,
right.
I think for the next year or so, he's mobile.
This is where the story was going. The story was 3 years of building a mobile business, you're capped. You're going to eventually want to get a brick and mortar store, is what I'm saying. So yes, absolutely, I can help him. I can coach him, and I can mentor him on the process. But one thing I did do when I had Lightning Mike's, which I'm going to recommend to people, is that he hires someone, train them, and keep the mobile business going. When he opens up the brick and mortar store, keep the cash flow of the mobile business he's established. Keep it. Don't let it go. Don't just open up the brick and mortar store and then stop being mobile. Transition a new guy in now you've got cash flow. Now you've got a mobile business that nobody else has got, because right now I've been in business, I don't know, 30 years, and Sunstoppers, I don't even know how long. But about 2 or 3 years ago, I hired a friend of mine that had a mobile window tinting business, and I hired him, put him in a transit van, and now he's my mobile guy. He goes to people's houses. He does flat glass. He works in my shops. He's my freelance floater. His name's Maxim. He's phenomenal. He added so much more value to my company. Mm-hmm. It's incredible. Just having someone to go, Oh, you need a car tenant? No. Oh, we can come to you. Oh, sure, no problem.
Right.
We still have an obstacle that we can fix, and having that mobile part of the company is crucial, man. I'm telling you, a
Right.
lot of these brick and mortar stores.
You're building a mobile business, and if you transition to a store, it's a different business. So it's a different clientele, it's a different business. And what
Yes.
you said makes sense too, because if let's say I'm going to open up brick and mortar maybe in a year from now, hopefully, we'll spend this year hiring somebody that comes with you. They're going to make you more efficient. You're going to make more money anyway, and you're going to know with certainty when it's time to make the move, because you're going to do it when you can sit in the car and watch them do the whole tint job without you doing it.
Transition that guy in.
Right.
Boom. And there's so many things that I've done in this industry, learned from so many mistakes. Whether I can help these guys or not, I always say pick my brain, because I'm going to have some type of solution or answer or some type of design in my head of what I can do to help these people.
What do you tell the guy who's like, sounds really cool, but he's a little intimidated to reach out to you?
Tell him to call you first.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. I'll edit this part out after.
Reach out to Eric. Eric will get in touch with me.
I have no problem with that. But for real, I guess I just wanted to bring it up because, I really, really think that, like, even if you're looking at this saying, I'm not interested, I'm not trying to make sales for Mike, but I'm trying to say, this is how you should approach anything. Say, I'm not interested. I'm going to talk to you and hear what you have to say, because I don't know what I don't know. And
one thing I'll tell you is, I'm pretty loyal to Expelled. Okay. But man, I still help Lumar shops. I still help 3M shops. I still help Suntech shops. If you tint windows and do paint protection and do flat glass, I consider you a colleague. I consider you my peer. Okay. I mean, think about this, Eric. Just think about the process. If I was a doctor and I went to school and I became a doctor, and I'm a world-renowned doctor, right? Doctors every year have to have continual education to keep their doctor, their status. I have a friend of mine that's a chiropractor, and like every year or two, he has to go do continual education to keep his certificates and his certifications and all that kind of thing, right? Where do we have that in this industry? We don't have that. We don't have a continual education program.
No.
We don't?
No, I saw something. I don't want to make a joke of it, but I do. Hang on, I'm going to pull it up. But while I pull it up, I wanted to ask a question that Marco asked. And he asked us both, but I'll ask you first. How do you deal with failure?
It depends on what I failed at.
So
it depends on what I failed at.
Let's talk some of your recent failures today. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what comes to mind. I'm just joking. I don't know what you're.
No, my failures are I spent $30,000 on marketing, and my close rate in the last month is horrible. So my front counter girls, we went through an entire analysis of how many leads every shop got, and we went through the sales process in my own company today. To me, I'm looking at myself as a leader, and I failed. I failed my team because I didn't hold my team accountable, and they kept dropping the ball, and I didn't do anything about it. So you got to think sports. You got what's that?
But you did something about it. I feel like my answer is more towards the line of there's no such thing as failure. Like, failure is typically like you set your expectation to something, and then if it happens, it's success. If it doesn't happen, it's failure. But I feel like the way I look at things is I say, this is what I know, this is what I'm going to try, and I'm going to keep evaluating and changing it. There's no failure. It's just a road to
disappointments. Here's the thing: there's levels of expectation. Okay,
right.
And I expect perfection. I expect greatness. I expect at the level that we are right now, the team of people and the amount of money that I pay for the talent that's on this team. Like, I look at the level of talent that we have on Sunstoppers I'll put it up against anybody in the world. We have some of the best talent. I have one of the best managers. I have some of the best PPF installers. I have some of the best tinters. We have a fucking awesome team. But all my good teammates, like my good guys, keep looking at me and they go, Mike, we have an awesome coach. So it's awesome when my players and the guys on the team turn back and look at me and they go, Mike, we have a great coach. We wouldn't be great players without a great coach.
Right. You wouldn't have a great team without a great team. And like it takes the whole team. It takes the village. It takes everybody.
Listen, there is
Right.
no I in this. I'm telling you right now, Mike Burke created a brand called Sunstoppers. But the team Sunstoppers, the people that are part of this organization that started from the beginning, even Josh Reeves, he started with me down in Florida. Great guy, awesome tenor, mentored the shit out of that guy. He's actually implementing a lot of stuff that I coached him 10 years ago, now today. And I'm so proud of him. He's doing phenomenal. I got guys in this industry that I have actually been a big brother to for a long time. They may have had envy. They may have had jealousy. They may have had disagreements with me when they were here. But years later, they reached back out to me and they go, Mike, man, you really were a big inspiration to me. You really helped me a lot. And I learned a lot from you. And you know what the thing is? That means all the world to me, man. Just when somebody can reach out years later, give me a hug and say, bro, you mentored me and you helped me and you coached me to get to where I'm at today. You look at every great athlete, they started with somebody coaching them and believing in them.
Right.
That's every one of them.
Yep.
Michael Jordan got cut in junior high school or high school basketball team. He got cut. He went out and worked hard and then turned around.
That's why it's not failure, because it's,
kept working hard.
It's you have to appreciate when things don't go right. Don't look at it as failure. Appreciate when things don't go right, because that's your opportunity to do better. And it's your opportunity to learn something. Yeah, go ahead.
But one thing I want to tell you is, who I'm in competition with?
Yourself.
Myself. I told a guy the other day, he was talking to me in the shop and he goes, man, he was asking me questions. And I said, bro, he was asking me about competition in Charlotte, I think. He was like, yeah, who's your competition? And I looked him straight in the eye and I said, I took the rear view mirror off my truck 20 years ago. I have never looked back in 20 years. I just keep looking forward and keep going forward and keep going forward. And eventually I will get to the destination that I'm looking for.
And that's important and very important, because there is nobody should be looking at their shop and comparing it to other scenarios and comparing it to dreams and saying, this is where I'm at. I'm less successful. Like, success is your own success. It's your life. It's your happiness. And like you said, you're competing with yourself. You're moving forward. Your only failure, I think, is if you're not enjoying what you're doing. You're not enjoying how things are going in your life, and you're not pursuing changing it and improving it. If you're not doing that, that to me could be failure, because you might get to the end and then not run out of time.
What was the other question that the guy had in there about?
I got a little clarity on the Tint Shop's questions regarding the market, if that's what you're referring to. And
Sure.
He's right outside of Aspen, Colorado. He says that, it's obviously a big opportunity, a town away from him, and that the shop, I think, that's there doesn't really care about their work or quality. So he feels like there's a big opportunity, but I think I know he's a newer shop. And like he said, he's doing just a few cars a week and maybe one or two.
Small area has big potential. I have guys that drive 30 minutes to come to our shops. So you can reach out and get the audience to come to you. When you put out great quality work,
yeah,
people will drive. They will. They'll drive 20, 30 minutes to come to you.
No doubt.
They will.
No doubt.
And so if anybody wants advice or they want coaching, whether they want to work with me with Sunstoppers, whether they want to do anything, I always say I would rather talk to people, bounce ideas off. I'm a think tank. That's all I am, is a think tank. So if you want to bounce ideas off of me and get my opinion, reach out to me. I sit at home bored out of my damn mind when I come home, drinking alcohol at my bar. Do you think I can have a drink and talk to somebody on the phone? Absolutely. I can sit there and have a phone call drinking. No problem, man. What's up, man? I'm sick of watching Netflix. I'm sick of watching TV. I would love to get on the phone every single night, talk an hour, talk tint with people who want to grow their business, want to get more business, bounce ideas off each other.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do.
It's just a fraternity of people.
What's that? I said, here's what we're going to do.
All right.
It's on the back burner, and I just want to throw the idea out there. Are you familiar with Oculus headsets, the Oculus VR headset?
Yeah.
They just came out with a new one. It's like $400. It's fucking amazing. And if hypothetically I was to have one, you were to have one, anybody who wants to join in buys one, $300. You can buy it for $299. Let's say the Sunstoppers locations, everybody gets one. I'm just saying, you can go into a virtual room in virtual reality, and we can be in the same room together, looking at virtual people of each other talking. We could be playing pinball against each other. Not pinball, what's it called? Like a little table tennis, talking to each other and seeing a virtual person in front of us while you're chatting, playing fucking pinball with each other. I'm just saying, if you're bored in that bar, there's a lot that could be done as a window film community. Like, I'm saying, where it kind of came from was the idea that you could potentially watch Tint Wizdom, just saying, inside a virtual room, looking at a big screen with your friends around you. Not that people don't want to do that necessarily, but when you said, chatting, it would be cool to jump into a Sunstopper's room, see who's in the room, and at any point you could be in there, 10 people could be in there, and just shoot the shit.
I think everybody in this industry, when they get the International Window Film Tint Off, and they get the dealer conferences, and they go to Expel's dealer conference, people look forward to those things because the value of those conferences is not the conference. It's getting a team of peers together to sit at a table and talk shop. That it's because if I go out with a friend of mine that is a banker, he's going to deal with different issues that I'm dealing with. I'm not even going to be able to talk to him about what I deal with on a day in and day out basis. Okay.
Yeah.
When I have a conversation with somebody that I respect, that say an IT manager of a business, and they go, Mike, what's going on? What's wrong with you today? And I go, bro, 28 people get their mortgages, their car payments, their food on their table provided by my company, Sunstoppers. I turn around and have rent, power, utilities, and phone bills and advertising. I generate a lot of sales. But the pressure and the anxiety that I put on myself, I never want to let my team down.
Right.
Okay. So wake up every single day. I can never drop the ball, ever. I can never get a day off, and I can never drop the ball. The reason people like me as a leader is because I don't drop the ball, ever.
The reliability. You know that you're going to be there. It's going to be there.
Your check's going to clear. Mm-hmm. You're always going to have business. You're always going to have work. My guys in my company are on 100% commission. Every damn one of them on 100% commission. If I don't go fishing every single day and put food on the table, they quit and they leave. My job is to hunt every day and build an army of people to dominate and destroy anyone in this industry around me who wants to do window tinting and paint protection. I'm going to kill them. I'm going to destroy them. They're going to eventually be working on this team one day. I'm coming.
I love it. I love it. So, obviously, like, I feel like a window film convention is a huge opportunity because if I walk up to the Sunstoppers booth and I see Mike, in person, I feel like everybody who talks to you, they at least get that in person, like, understand. Like, I think that's where you shine. Like I was telling you the other day, and I want to say it because hopefully it puts pressure on you to do it. I think you should have a podcast, a live stream, put videos out. I love the fact that you're saying you're going to do like a vlog style video, like reality style show. Like people, you need to be on video and anyway, or in person, but I don't think in person is as possible as video anyway. So where I'm going with this window film convention, as far as I know, you don't even think you're going to attend it, let alone display at it. Right. So like, obviously your take on that is probably that nobody's going to be there. So it's not worth your time. What do you think?
I think everyone needs to go to the Expel dealer conference.
So
it's worth its weight in gold, man.
Okay, but here's the thing. 2020, there's not going to be an Expel dealer conference. There is going to be a window film convention. 2021, there will be an Expel conference, but non-Expel dealers, as far as I know, would not be able to attend. Is that right? So when you say everybody should go, not everybody can go, even if they want to go.
Well, here's the thing. I think some of the other manufacturers are starting to do the same thing that Expel's doing. No. I think it's going to become more of a manufacturer.
No, who?
I've heard rumors, man. I've heard rumors that Eastman's trying to put something together.
But Eastman's always had a great Eastman for Vista and Formula One. Eastman's always put on a very beautiful event. Now, it's always at a nice resort, it's always well put together. It's multi-day. There's breakout sessions. There's always a guest speaker that is somebody you've never heard of, but is very powerful and has a book. But you, so anyway, but my point being is it doesn't seem to have the energy that is behind Expel. So what I'm simply trying to say is I haven't heard and I haven't seen any traces of somebody doing the high energy, real guests that people are familiar with, Conus eggs by the entrance type event. I haven't seen it. So if you can name somebody by name, I'd love to be optimistic and be happy and promote that event, because I want any dealer, any manufacturer who puts on a badass event deserves credit to the moon.
Listen,
so I just want to know who it is.
I was in the very first 10 off in 1998, okay?
Uh-huh.
And the very first 10 off in 1998 was put on by Matico at the time. I still have the T-shirt downstairs.
In Florida,
I still have it. I do. You want me to go get it?
Yes.
You do?
Go ahead. I'm just fucking with you.
Sure?
Go ahead. No, I don't care. I'm just kidding. I don't know where it is.
Now, I'll send a picture to you. I'll take a picture of it and text it to you.
Okay.
But I still have it. It's 1998. It was Matico 10 off, and it was invitation only. Only the top dealers by the manufacturers could compete in the very first one. And it was amazing, man. It was like a fraternity of brothers all just craving for content. And they keep evolving and they keep changing. I was actually a judge at the International Window Film 10 off like 2 years ago in Indianapolis. Yep. I learned a lot, man. It was a really cool experience to judge a competition in window tinting. I thought it was amazing. I did a little breakout session where I taught sales training and coaching and stuff, which was really cool. And I thought they did a fantastic job, but it just didn't have the energy. It didn't have the It didn't have that kind of like And it was missing just a little bit. It was almost too corporate. Expel's kind of taken a little bit of the corporate Band-Aid off and made it more like a rock star event. Made it more real. Like you're going to a Metallica concert. And you're just like
Tony Robbins, meets badass cars meet.
But you got to also understand the people that run Expel also used to own window tinting shops. They also used to be in the industry, so they get what the industry's looking for. You got people running an event that are doing a fantastic job, but they're just event coordinators. They're not people that are really, really in the industry. Like if International Window Film magazine or 10 off and that do this would hire guys like me, hire guys like you to organize and promote this event, we could create an event for the people a little bit more. We could give them more insight and more kind of what the audience is looking for, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
1,000%. Yeah. And I just want to take the chance to be clear. Like, I'm all about promoting anything that deserves promoting or could be promoted, or I want people to succeed. I want people to go to this window film convention. We're going to be there. With that said, it's in June. It's the worst freaking idea possible in the world. However, I hope everybody goes. However, it doesn't mean that there's not a huge room. There's a huge room for improvement. There's a huge room for opportunity. And whether it be the window film convention or Sunstoppers or anybody, somebody should take advantage of that, or everybody should take advantage of that and put events together. It's not one or the other. There should be events, right?
Well, I put on an event. We have a Guinness World Record, tinted 170 cars in one day, and that took me 6 months to plan.
Pretty cool. And I don't know. I remember when it happened. I remember exactly when you did it, and I feel like that was really when Sunstoppers went on my radar, as far as because companies go by and you don't realize it maybe, but sometimes companies go by and they're in your face, but they didn't register in your head yet. And there's usually a trigger that registers it. And that's part of marketing. You can't think that the first time somebody sees something, they're going to even remember it or care or see it. But that was definitely a smart move. Got a lot of attention, even just within the industry.
It did. And it's funny because Manny Honduras, you know Manny?
No.
From 3M. He runs EPD. Great guy. He came up to me at the International Window Film Conference like a year or two later, and he goes, Mike, that Guinness World Record, that was genius. That was a genius idea.
Well,
what else you want to talk? Who else is asking questions? Anybody asking questions? Anybody want to know anything or ask me questions about anything?
So I'm going to quickly scroll through there, but that's a great time for anybody with questions to ask
Any
them now, because
any
sometimes
question you want.
questions were asked earlier in the live stream, and for the sake of not jumping around and interrupting, we skip over them. I know Mike Lawrence had one, or I'm sorry, Lawrence Williams had one, not Mike Lawrence. Lawrence Williams had one, and I believe he said, "What's the best advice for a shop owner in Tinters?" Oh, he said that's the best advice. So it was something regarding you're saying. Forget that. I'm going to stop talking. Julio de la Torres asked what your phone number is. Do you want to give that out now, or how do you?
704-858-1608.
Say it again.
704
704
858
858
1608.
08. Okay, I'm gonna put it in the comments too.
Tell everyone to text me who they are and what they need, and then I can respond. Don't call. Tell them to text me, because then I can call them back when I get a minute.
It's in there. It reminds me of writing your number on a bathroom wall, like
come on,
my number for a good time. Call for a good time.
Oh, if you want a good time, give me a call. Just not that kind of good time.
Text for a good time regarding window tint.
Exactly. Yeah. So what other question? Anybody's got anything that we need me to answer?
Can you explain the plan real quick about what they do for us? So what's Unstoppers like? And that was from the tint shop that is in Colorado outside.
Number one, it's marketing. Number two, it's branding. Number three, it's creating a national brand. We have a trademarked logo. We have systems in place. We have processes in place. I promise I can come to any window tinting shop in the country, any tint shop in the country, and within one day, I can increase your efficiency, I can increase your sales, and I can make you a better shop.
Clear.
I have no doubt in my mind. If I don't, I'll pay you for my time.
You'll pay them for.
I'll pay them. I'll buy everybody in the shop lunch. I'm telling you, if I can't help a shop, I'll be the first one to say, bro, you guys are hitting it out of the park. You guys are knocking it down. I just learned shit from y'all. I'm buying y'all a lunch, and I'm getting the hell out of here.
Don't you feel like over time you're going to have such a big Sunstoppers network that potentially what could happen would be it creates opportunity for somebody that's in that Sunstoppers network to possibly generate income or maybe shift into being a trainer / a.
I'm glad you said that. I actually just hired a guy from Connecticut. He's coming down here, and he's going to help me with PPF. He's a phenomenal guy. We wrapped a car together, and he's going to be my. He doesn't have any kids, not married, and he's going to be my trainer. He's going to travel with me, and we're going to do PPF training together. And I'm going to do tent training, sales training, and coaching. We're coming to the people. You don't have to come to us. We'll come to you, because the most efficient way to train somebody is in their own environment, because it may be set up wrong. They may not have the glass close enough to the car. They may not have the car positioned correctly. You go to a training facility, a training school is great, but it's not real world. It's not real life experience. It's like you're going to boot camp, but until you've been to war, until you've been to the army, it's great. You can go to boot camp and learn how to shoot a gun and run. But until you've been to Afghanistan and fought in a war, are you still there?
Yep.
All right, hold on. How do I get you back over?
It's all right. When came back, was the phone ringing?
Yeah, it was ringing.
Hang on. Hold on, I can't see you yet.
You can see me?
I can't see you yet. I saw you for a second, but then you disappeared. I think you undid the camera. There you go. Now I can see you.
Okay. Can you see me now?
No, now I see you. I was looking behind it. Go ahead.
So basically what I'm saying is
until you've been to war,
until you've been to Afghanistan and you've been in the battle and the trenches, you haven't really fought a battle. Going through training and basic training in the military, and I'm only using this as an analogy. We're going to war in your backyard. We're coming to you, and we're going to train you in your facility, and we're going to create the environment of hostility. Like you got the phone ringing, you got the bay door opening and closing, you got the music. Yeah, we're going to create the environment.
It's like the restaurant Impossible. When he comes in, he drives you bananas so that you fucking drop the French fries. And no, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Eric. I bought a domain name a couple of years ago called Tint tintrescue.com.
Right, there it is. Restaurant or whatever, business
Tint
rescue.
rescue, like bar rescue.
Yeah, bar rescue. That's what I was. Yep.
So
Yep. I can see it. So the Tin Shop asks, so is it affiliate or franchising?
not franchising.
Mhm.
It's just a membership. It's like joining a gym membership, and we give you all the benefits of joining.
Okay. I was thinking like a country club, but that's not even a great example. It's a call it a business resource club with that involves
It's a membership to a club.
And then Lawrence asked, "Can you hit on the minimal fee or roundabout ballpark one can become a Sunstoppers affiliate?" That's $500.
As long as you have a shop, as long as you have a business, a shop, and know what you're doing, I'll come and coach you. I'll come and train you. I'll tent with you. And we add you to the website. And we start generating leads for you immediately. I mean, if anyone has a question about what the hell I do, call Chris in Chicago. Chris has already said he would, and Garrett down in Tent Solution.
Chris Queen, 5-star window tinting.
Call him.
South
Call him.
South Chicago.
Call Greenville, South Carolina. Call Garrett down in it's just go to the website, go to locations pages. Call James in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
You got to put all their phone numbers in the comments.
What's that?
You have to put all their phone numbers in the comments. I'm just saying, look up Chris Queen, Kris Queen, and like these people that were mentioned.
Just look him up and ask him.
Yeah.
Just ask him. But any other questions?
Yes. And if you get the membership, do we lose our current branding and become a Sunstoppers, or do we keep our shop and branding as well?
On Google My Business pages, we co-brand just because we don't want to confuse the audience, but we transition in a year to try to transition over because you're going to get so many leads, so many coaching. We don't want, it's like you want to co-brand. And
You froze. Shoot. You there?
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Unfortunately, you froze. So if you don't mind just repeating that. Co-branding.
Okay. So one analogy was if you walk into a gas station, you can go left to go to McDonald's. You can go right to go to Subway. They're all under the same roof. So outside, you have the logo Subway, McDonald's, and Citco or gas station or BB. Eventually, the brand Sunstoppers is going to outpower your old brand. It's going to eventually transition. The emotional attachment that people have to their name will eventually change. It will eventually die out. It's almost like when you get married, your name may be, my last name is Burke. Say, you get married, your wife's last name is Johnson. Well, she's been Johnson up till 28 years old, and all of a sudden she takes on a new last name. It's not that she lost her last name. Right. She just took on another name.
Right. Fair enough. So I know like Cato's Rapture Tintin Graphics in Canada, and like he's popular on social media and like killing it on TikTok and so on. But I guess I feel like the kind of the answer maybe people are looking for or would help put it in perspective is from day one, you're starting off co-branding. You're saying Sunstoppers will outpower and you'll lose the emotional attachment, but you don't have to make that commitment day one.
Not day one.
Just to kind of make that clear. Day one, because day one's the biggest day. You're like, oh shit. So you don't want to get rid of your name. But you're just simply saying, hey, day 260, you're not going to be so attached. But wait till day 260 and you'll figure that out for yourself.
When I send you 20 t-shirts and sweatshirts and all my apparel looks better than your apparel, you're going to be wearing our shirts and not your old ones.
Hey, that's part of it. That's part of it, right? I mean,
the other thing is this. I'm gonna touch on this. If you're a paint protection and ceramic pro auto spa, a lot of the ceramic pro detailing shops that do ceramic coating and paint protection, they don't offer window tinting. This is what's going on in the industry right now. This is who's reaching out to me right now. You got guys that have big paint protection and ceramic coating businesses that have a mobile window tinter that comes around and kind of tints their existing, cars that they're selling. But they're not really a window tinting shop. So when you got a guy in Indianapolis like Kyle, my buddy Kyle, Clear Brindy, Kyle was on your show, right? I flew out to Indianapolis. I worked with Kyle, and we now are co-branding. It's Clear Bra Indy. He does paint protection and ceramic coating, detailing, and clear bra. Well, the other portion of his shop, if you go left, he now has a sun stoppers area for window tinting.
Sure.
So when he now organically in Indianapolis, he has 70 to 80% of the market share for clear bra. But if you type in window tinting, there was nothing on his website. There was nothing organically that made him populate for window tinting. We put him on the website. Within 10 days, he got the Westin Hotel, typed in window tinting Indianapolis, and the Westin Hotel called him on an organic lead for flat glass because he was listed under Sun Stoppers window tinting. So Google recognized him,
Right.
and the Google recognized Sun Stoppers because we're such a powerhouse, because we spend $20,000 a month with them. So they know who the hell we are. When we place an ad, boom, we get listed. Okay. So our ads outrank other ads because we do so much more advertising under the umbrella, and the domain name and our website generates so much traffic. So our traffic count is 10 times what normal websites are for window tinting. So we're going to organically rank higher because Google populates going, hey, what's all this activity? What's going on this website? Boom, we get listed higher than everybody else. So if you get listed on our website, you're going to generate leads immediately.
Caleb Green asks, does the membership fee increase through time or success? For instance, if my shop becomes the largest and most busy shop in Sunstoppers brand, is my fee increasing or higher than others?
Flat rated.
So it's not because like a franchise, you're paying a percentage of your business as you grow. You have to do certain and so on. This is not that. This is a membership. So as you become bigger and better, your membership
you can cancel at any time. There's no buyout or anything. You can cancel at any time. You just lose your benefits. Okay, number one. Number two, it's flat rated. There's no hidden fees. It's just a flat rate. I'm trying to build something to where the money that I collect, and I will be honest with you, Eric, every single dollar that I have collected from every dealer that pays for us goes right back into marketing, goes right back into SEO, goes right back into t-shirts, goes right back into business cards, goes right back into success. Every dollar. So I am not profiting. I will eventually. My goal is to transition out of the day-to-day activities of my shop in the next couple of years and transition to live off the residual income that's coming in from the company. But I want to travel around and do coaching and training. That's what I want to do eventually, just travel around and coach and train.
And then Mike Powell asked, are there different levels of Sunstopper memberships?
One.
However, you could potentially have a different budget for a different amount of ads or something like that. Is that right?
We talk and consult and figure out what your growth strategy is. Like when we talk to you and we coach you, we go, okay, where are you now? What was last year's sales? What was the year previous sales? How many staff members do you have? What's the titles? I help take emotional detachments from your business and put the business brain on. A lot of guys need an outsider to come in their business and just look at your shop and go, man, I walk in and out of the shop every single day for years. They think it looks great. But I might walk in the shop and go, man, you need to change this and change that, or do this and do this, and here's why. Do it for this reason, because I think it'll make you more efficient.
I got one more for you. I don't know. It's a doozy, though. So if somebody wants to become a Sunstoppers, is it safe to say they get to be an Expel dealer at the same time?
We are partnered with Expel. We have an exclusive agreement that all Sunstoppers affiliate stores are all in with Expel. Okay. So if you're using a brand, Suntech, Lumar, whatever, Sunstoppers comes as a package. But if we cannot, we have to work with the sales reps. We have to work with Chris Hardy, and we have to look at the area, and we have to see how many Expel dealers are in the area, number one, and how much the money. Okay. Because truth be known, like say Charlotte, North Carolina, Expel has $1 per person. Say there's 1 million people in Charlotte. So Expel puts, say, I don't know this to be exact, but I know this is in theory where I'm going. So say $1 per person is the value of what Charlotte market is to Expel.
Right.
So they want to generate $1 million in sales from Expel within 1 million people of Charlotte. Okay. So if the sales are not in the area, say a guy has Expel dealer 5 miles down the road,
Right.
but the area is only generating, say, $80,000 a year in sales, and there's 400,000 people there, then they're probably going to say, you know what, we're going to add this shop on because the market we don't have enough saturation.
They value every area as its own opportunity. They don't want to oversaturate it, but they can't undercapitalize on it, nor would you want them to. Because if you're in an area and it's a huge opportunity and you're the only one there, you're going to be drowned out potentially by other brands. It can definitely benefit you to have a presence of a brand in an area, no doubt about it. An extreme example of that would be like Starbucks, but that's extreme. But like it does work in that like.
So technically, if you want to partner with Sunstoppers, we get a discount on the products. We do. We get a discount, and I share those discounts. I can't disclose those discounts, but we do get a little bit of a discount. Okay, on film and PPF, we get a little bit of a discount, and I can't disclose that on the air until you become a Sunstoppers. Then I can kind of go into the details of what that's entitled. Okay. I have a really good relationship with Expel, and nor do I want all these Expel dealers calling me saying, because I can't convert them. If you're already an Expel dealer, you can be Sunstoppers, but you have to stay at your pricing. If you're a Suntech or a Lumar or 3M and you want to convert over to Sunstoppers, you now get my wholesale pricing, because now it's new business. Now that's new business that Expel didn't have before. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So, but the thing is, if you're already an existing Expel dealer, I can help you with marketing. I can help you with PPF training. I can help you with tint training. I can help you with lead generation. I can help you with coaching in your shop on how to pay your employees, how to motivate your employees, how to get your second location open. I'm a business coach. I'm a business coach. I'm a tint coach. I'm an industry coach. So if you need help and want to grow your business, give me a call. I'd love to help.
The Tin Shop asked if there was a free month trial to see if it would work. So I want to answer that one and say, I think. Oh no, you know what? I should shut up. You go ahead. I was going to say, let me. I can't help myself.
All right.
I was going to say you should pay Mike Burke, and if you're really unhappy, I'm not saying you should, but if you are interested, you should pay. And if you are unhappy and you go, Mike Burke, you suck. I'm not happy at all. I bet Mike Burke's going to go, here's your money back, man. No problem. Right?
I don't need the money, Eric.
I just don't think that you're trying to fight over the $500 of the first month. So I wouldn't look for a free trial.
It's not that big a deal. Here's the thing: you don't date somebody and you don't get married to somebody and thinking you're going to exit. You go into the relationship getting to know each other. What do you bring to the table? What do I bring to the table? Right. You can't have those discussions prior to talking to someone.
Right.
These need to be negotiated per person. Because I need to know who they are, what's their Google reviews, what film you're using, what relationship are you bringing to us, and what are we bringing to you. And the money, I don't worry about money. And the reason I don't worry about money is because money is the easiest thing in the world to make. And I tell my tinters all the time, if you come to work thinking about making money, you're not going to make money. You come to work thinking about taking care of the customer and saying yes to every opportunity. When you say yes to the opportunity, the money will be there.
Right. Right. And in this opportunity, you're not saying, hey, pay me to find out. You're saying, call me to find out, not pay me to find out. Just call me to find out. So you can answer your questions ahead of time, potentially. And and that's the point. Look, you already know, I think some people may be saying, how could this all be for only $500? I think it's almost at a price to where people are like, how could it be that cheap? Go ahead.
So let me
because it's a long-term investment. You're not looking at a month to take somebody $500. You're looking at an investment.
I'm looking at this as a 10, 20-year relationship, okay? Right. 10, 20 years down the road, I've now got a guy that had 1 store, now to 5 stores, and we're now part of a fraternity. What I need help with is we've got really big flat glass jobs coming up, huge. I need to now use the network of people that are in this industry and say, hey, bro, I need 20 installers for this next flat glass job that we've got coming. Who wants to fly in and help me? Who wants to make money? Who's slow right now? Who can come and send me 2 installers or send me 3 installers? I can fly 8 guys up to help people do a job, but I might need 8 more for a big flat glass job. So this industry needs to start working together. Okay?
Yeah.
I agree. So the question that you wanted me to answer earlier was what again?
Why don't you have a book already?
Who, me?
Yeah, that was the question. That was another question, so I just threw it in there.
I thought about it, but I'd have to have somebody else write it. My
No.
spelling
Plus, I don't want to
awful.
read
I
a
can't
book.
spell worth of crap.
Please don't write a book, but do an audio book. You could do videos. You could do podcasts. That podcasts and videos are the modern day book because you can do them like this. You could do them once a week, and we don't have to
Right.
sit there and read your book. Just do video.
I agree. I don't read books. The world's become too ADD, man. We're too instantaneous. It's YouTube, YouTube, YouTube.
Mike Powell asked, "How do you handle shops that rent inside another shop?" I would assume his question's more towards the idea of like branding. You co-brand it, right?
No problem.
They have their
If you're
branding.
in a stereo shop and you're tinting sun
Tire
stoppers,
shop.
a tire shop or a window tinting shop, and you're inside another facility, we're going to create the environment. We're going to do epoxy floors. We're going to build you a counter. We're going to come in and make at least your area look somewhat, presentable.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Anybody else?
They're still kind of coming in, but not at the second. Anything else you wanted to touch on?
The value of putting a front counter girl, man, I have learned in the last
You say
year.
girl, you mean person, right?
Front counter person. I'm sorry, person.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
Female persons at the front counter.
Okay. And look, in your reasoning for that, the reason you're going towards women, it's not because you're anti-man. It's because you feel that maybe they have a more gentle touch or with a customer.
No, not at all. Let me rephrase this, okay? When you have a female behind the counter and they give a price for window tint to an 80% male dominant people coming in, okay? Because I would probably say, and I could be wrong, 80% of the clients are male, 20% are female. I don't know if that's about accurate on our end. That's what we see. 80% of the people come in that are male getting their windows tinted. Males getting their paint protection. Only about 20%, maybe 25 are women. But what I'm saying is that negotiation. You can go to Lowe's, you can go to Outback, you can go to a nice restaurant, you can go to department stores, and people pay the price on the sticker. They pay, oh, I got to go to Outback. I'm going to get a steak. It's $29.99 or whatever. Or I'm going to go to Lowe's. I'm going to buy an umbrella or buy a light fixture for $100. They come and get their windows tinted and they go, yo, man, come on, bro. Man, you can do better than that, man. You got to get my, shop down the street said they do it for $180, man. What do you mean you're $250? Come on, do it for $200. Do it for $200. When you have a guy behind the counter, he gets very quick to turn around and go, come on, man. Really, it turns into almost like an argument. When you have a female behind the counter, at least in my experience, we have 4 or 5 girls that work behind the counter. People don't negotiate with the women near as much. They just pay the price. If the girl quotes it, stays stern, looks at them, talks sweet, smiles. Guys don't want to look cheap to a girl that's kind of cute behind a front counter. At least that's what we found.
I don't disagree. I mean, I think there's a lot of reasons, I think every gender can do every job, but there are some, real world ways that people interact differently with men and women, and why not?
And I say this too. I don't hate to say this. I'm glad to say this. The females that worked at the front counter behind Sunstoppers are very good at doing social media. They're very good at texting the customers. They're very good at doing what they are told to do. If you tell them to do A, B, C, they do it. You put a guy behind the front counter and he's like, yo, man, I'm going to take a smoke break, or, I got to go to the store. They're just quicker to give you a little bit more lip.
All right. Mike Powell asked, he said that when you said about co-branding, so he asked about he asked if you're inside another shop. I think Mike's inside a tire shop, and he shares that showroom and so on. So
Where's he at? Where's he located?
He's in North Carolina.
He's down there in Sumter, South Carolina, right?
He's in Grand Rapids, I think it is.
Okay.
Is it Grand Rapids or Roanoke Rapids? Roanoke Rapids.
The thing is, when you're inside another facility, I'll come down there, we'll evaluate it, get a sign out front, put the bay.
Hold on, so real quick, he says it's a tough sell to the owner. It's tough to tell the owner that I'm tearing up your front showroom and changing the color on the shared showroom, this and that. I think, Mike, the important part, Mike Powell, is that you don't have to tell the owner that. Mike Burke will tell the owner that, so you don't have to. Let him be the guy.
I'm 6'2". No, I'm just kidding. I'm a super nice guy, man. But we're going to beautify the place and add more value. If you add value to any owner, they see the value.
Yeah. Cato asked, what happens when you've paid the membership for 2, 3, 4 years and everything's flowing well? That recognition for the business is there. Does the membership still have that monthly need/value? There's always room. Well, go ahead.
You're saving money on material. You're saving money on material. You don't get the discount unless you're part of the membership. You have a marketing team behind you. You're going to consistently do marketing, no matter what. What is an ad worth? I just want to know what the industry thinks. If I give you an organic lead off Sunstoppers that came in on a Tesla, and you got $900 or $500 or $600 to tint that car, and you didn't pay for the ad, and say I'm generating leads organically. That means the website's listed in your area. You get a quote form. You get a text message for the lead. You get an email for the lead.
Cut out.
Protection leads right now are worth 50. Say, what's originating the customer worth? You call Chris in Chicago. I gave him 6 leads today off the website today, because I called him today and he said, Mike, I got 6 window tinting leads today. And do you know how many he paid for? He paid his monthly membership and he got those leads for free.
So, I think to Cato's point too, he's saying like, all right, what if 4 or 5 years down the line, like everything's going so well as a Sunstoppers location, like why continue to pay the fee? Well, I think Cato, at least from my perspective, the idea is, well, if you're happy for year 1 and 2 and 3, most likely, like you can assume that Sunstoppers as a brand is going to continue to innovate. So the things that you'll need in year 4 are not the things you need in year 1. Now, can you guarantee that Sunstoppers is going to do an incredible job 9 years from now? You can't guarantee anything. However, that's what you're going with, and you assume if they've gotten this far, they're going to continue down that road.
Here's
right?
the thing. Here's the thing. If I take a guy off the website and he's been on there for 3 or 4 years and we take him off and he's like a crackhead, he's getting 20, 30, 40 leads a month off the website, and then all of a sudden the faucet goes dry, he's going to call me back in 2 months and go, bro, how do I get back on?
Yeah, but so I know you're saying it's just it's the flow of leads,
but it's also coaching. It's also mentoring.
There's more to it, right?
You lose your window tinter you've had for 12 years. I had a tinter that was with me for 13 years. He left me, just up and quit. Okay. I was sitting there flipping the freak out. I was going crazy. I ruined a relationship of 13 years because he freaking quit on me and gave me a week and a half, 2 weeks notice. I was emotionally pissed off. I mean, I was so mad. I wanted to freaking burn the shop down. He ran the store. He was a great tinter. He was a great PPF installer, and he left me high and dry, and he left me in a hard place.
Mm-hmm.
I did what I had to do. I went up there and ran the shop. I got it back up and running, and it's doing fantastic now. But what I'm saying is most window tinting shop owners may not know what to do. I've been through it. I know what to do. I know what it takes to grind it out. And sometimes when you get sick, you just want your mom to bring you a bowl of chicken noodle soup. If something happens in your business, you can call me. You have a support team. That's all I'm saying is you now have a support team that has your back.
Right. And by year 4, if everything's going really well, I would say the question shouldn't be, why do I need you? The question should be, how do we do this 5 times in 5 more cities? Or
how do we get our second location? How do we get our third location?
Right.
If it's going on autopilot and it's going too easy, it's time to press the envelope, because what I try to tell people is this, Eric, a car, say a Honda Civic Si, the rev limiter is what? Like I watched the Fast and Furious the other day, and then I watched Ford versus Ferrari. Do you know Ford versus Ferrari? Did you see the movie?
I did.
And the guy revved the limiter. It was like 8,000 RPM, right? And then they were trying to win the race, and they said, no, go to 9,000 RPM, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to press that envelope and got to know where your motor is going to before it blows. You got to know. But unless you've tested, if you run at 4,000 RPM, you haven't ran at the potential of blowing your motor.
Yep.
I tell guys all the time, tent shop owners, I'm going to do my 4 cars a day and I'm going to go home. Bro, I'm going to try to do 12, 15 cars a day, every shop. Try to squeeze another one in every day. Why are you running at 4,000 RPM when the car was meant to run at 8,000?
Everybody's got a different engine, but I get what you're saying, and I for the person who wants, I agree with you. I relate with that 100%. I'm just thinking there's probably somebody back there going, I'm not doing more than 4 cars a day.
You know what the thing is? That's fine.
Right. It's just that's fine. Just not maybe a good fit for Sunstoppers, but everybody should do their own thing. A couple of more questions came in here. Mike asked, so do you do Expel PPF training for non-Sunstoppers? So if Mike's an Expel dealer, he's not a Sunstoppers yet. I don't know. I guess, is that a private conversation or like, I think
I'll train. I don't care if you sell Lumar, 3M, Suntech, or whatever. If I like you and you have good energy and you're passionate about this industry and you want to grow, I got no problem working with them, man. I got no problem with working with anybody.
The Tint Shop said after that, bro, I wish I could get 4 cars a week. Bro, I wish I could get 4 cars a week. Yeah. So I think he's doing like 3 cars a week, and he's saying I wish I could get like 4. So this is my thing.
We're cars away.
Say again?
We're still turning cars away at some of my shops.
So this is my thing. If you're doing 4 cars, if you're doing like 2 to 3 cars a week, and you're wishing you did 4 to 10 cars a week or whatever it is, I feel like when you don't have, like, the less you have established, the less you even have. I'm not saying anybody has anything to lose, but I'm saying, like, if you're doing such little volume, you might as well give it a shot, because it's not going to go down. You're not like negative cars. So, you just give it a shot, I guess. I just think, like, you're not going to have, like, you're not worried about interruption of business if you're not doing a high volume already. You're going to say, am I doing more or am I doing the same? Is it worth it or do I not?
Every person I talk to is going to have a different problem, and I'm going to have a different solution to everybody in this industry that calls me.
David Kratz asked a good question as well. He said, is there like any protections, or are there any protections in place to protect members from new members opening or moving in the same area? You mentioned how Expel handles an area. How does Sunstoppers handle an area?
Absolutely. You own an area. Once it's yours, and all the expansion in the area is yours as well.
So is that kind of a case-by-case basis based on what's already there when you're opening and what?
If there's a guy, say for instance, we're going to go to Charlotte, okay? And I'm going to open up a Sunstoppers in Charlotte. And then a guy turns around and calls me from Charlotte. I'm going to turn around and say, bro, I already got one in Charlotte. I'm going to talk to the guy that I already have a relationship with. And I'm going to say, do you want to open a second location in the next year or 2? And if he says, no, I'm content, I'm happy, I just want to keep my one store and I don't want to grow, then I'm going to go, okay, if I get any inquiries in your area, I'm going to run it by you first to give you that same option. Do you want to open up any more stores? Because if you don't, I have to look at the business side of it and go, now we have branding in a town that's now 2 locations, and you both would benefit. Because we now have double the marketing budget for sunstoppers.com. Now we have double the lead volume coming in. Now you're going to have a network of people that are now going to work together. So I don't think it's a problem to have more than 1 or 2. But outside of that, that's about it. But I'm going to give it the first right of refusal to the shop that's already working with me. And if he turns around and says, no, I know that guy, he's a douchebag, I'm not going to work with him, I'll be like, okay, I don't need the money, man. I want the relationship. The relationship's more valuable to me than the money.
Daniel Puente said, bring Sunstoppers to New Mexico. Look me up on Google, the Tint Spot. So I'll answer that one. Daniel, you can bring Sunstoppers to New Mexico by contacting Mike Burke. That's how Sunstoppers goes to Mexico. He can't bring it. You actually have to invite it over to New Mexico, right?
New Mexico, right?
New Mexico.
Yeah, I'm in. No problem. I'll tint with anybody. I'll put my apron on and tint windows, man. I'm a badass window tinter, man. I can hang with anybody in the country.
I think you and Daniel would have some fun. I know Daniel, not personally, but like through. So
you know what the thing is, man? I put good music on. I make the customers happy, and I have fun going to work every single day, man. It's fun.
So Patrick Fransco said, the program sounds good. The only thing that might be concerning to some would be becoming totally dependent on the organization. I always tell clients to make sure they are in control of their own destiny. That doesn't mean the program isn't a good idea. Just make sure you never give up understanding your own business. So my angle on that is I agree with you, Patrick. Obviously, you don't want to, like, you always want to have control of your own destiny. My angle on that, and I'm not trying to be a salesperson here, is, but I feel like if somebody was to, let's say you go with Sunstoppers and somewhere in the line, you feel like that's not the best option for you. What you're going to take away from it should be a lot of things you learned. So you're always in your, like, I feel like you're always in charge of your own destiny. You're just picking up tools along the way. If you part ways, you still have those tools that you picked up to go execute on your own, if that's what you find to be your best future, right?
That was a very good explanation. Very good explanation.
Because like, here's the thing: if you go like, if somebody right now is saying, "I'm going to start my own window film manufacturing company," and you say, "Well, I'm going to be in control of my own destiny, so that's where I'm going," and then somebody else says, "Well, I'm going to go work at a window film manufacturing company for 5 years before I decide if I want to open my next one," I can pretty much guarantee you, if they go work for the best one, like a good one, they go into private sector after that, and they go do their own thing or whatever, they're going to hit the ground running far faster than somebody who says, "I'm going to do this like this." And I'm not saying that's what Patrick said. I'm just simply saying there's always something to learn from other people, and you bring it with you for the rest of your life.
The real thing that I see in this industry more than anything, Eric, is I get a guy that's got 10 years in a shop. He's got a buddy of his or one employee. He's got his girlfriend running the front counter, and they're doing the same sales they did last year. They're doing the same sales they did the year before. They have no growth model. They're actually probably somewhat broke because they pocket the cash. They don't reinvest back into the business. And they're not willing to take advice from anyone because they think they know it all. They're happy drinking their beer when they get off work. They're happy having a shop to go to. The rent's maybe gone up twice in 10 years. They kind of pick and choose which cars they want to tint. And they have a job. At the end of the day, when they show up at their shop, they just employed themselves to a job, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you ever want an exit strategy, if you ever want a growth strategy, if you ever want to get out and actually be an owner of a business and not the employee of the business, give me a call.
Carl asked, has Sunstoppers ever had to take away a shop, or they just cancel the deal if a situation happens between them?
Not one. And not one has backed out since we joined.
Okay, so that's an important stat. That's an important stat. So so far, nobody's become a Sunstopper and then is now no longer a Sunstopper at their own.
From mine or their end. It's been a perfect marriage because we bring 10 times the value of what you pay for to the table. And if I don't bring 10 times the value, I will ask you to please leave on your own because you're wasting your money spending it with me. But if the people that spend money with me would do it again and again and again and again and again because they see the value.
And Patrick Fransco, also good comment, said, not saying it's not a good idea, just don't sit back and rely on Sunstoppers. You still have to hustle and run your business. Learn all you can, and if it's working for you, great. Just don't become dependent on Sunstoppers and expect them to deliver success for you. That's what I'm saying. So that's really important, and that's, I think, perfectly said. If you think like, and I'm speaking for everybody right now, but that's what I enjoy sometimes, is if you think you're going to call Mike Burke and then you're going to hang up the phone, you're going to lay on your sofa and take a nap, and then when you wake up, everything's going to improve. For sure, it's not. That's not the case. You're going to need to go in there. You're going to work your ass off. You're going to need to learn. You're going to need to take coaching. Right? I mean, it's
at the end of the day,
it's not doing it for you.
At the end of the day, look at this as sports. Okay, you're an NBA player, say LeBron James, one of the best athletes, Michael Jordan. Let's take all the best athletes in the world. Let's take any athletes that play sports. They have to go out there and play the game with teammates. It's not an I on a basketball team. And then they have a coach, and then they have a playbook. All I'm doing is bringing a little bit of motivation, an inspiration, and a playbook that I've created over 30 years in my brain that says, I have a play or a scenario that can help you in this situation. Okay? There's 3 seconds left to go in the game, and we have to score the next 2 points to win, and we've got to create a play to win the game. Well, somebody had to get on a clipboard and draw that little play out and go, okay, what do we do?
Yeah.
Okay? The teammates didn't do it. The coach did it. So at the end of the day, I'm a coach. They're the players. They still have to go execute. They still have to go do everything. Mm-hmm. I've got a successful formula, or I wouldn't have what I have right now if it's not. It's already proven. It's successful.
So I want to touch on a comment by Lance, and he said he's been kind of mentioning, like, I think you said at some point it's not about the money, and he said, but it's not about, and then recently he said, but it's not about the money, and he said, sorry, I'm not being a dick, I just don't believe any businessman when he says this BS line, except for Devash. So I appreciate that, but I want to kind of touch on this because from my perspective, if you're not understanding how it cannot be about the money, it's worth talking about. So I want to stand behind. It's not a BS line. Okay, so what it's not about the money doesn't mean that I'm not getting up for work every day because I need to make money. I have to pay my bills. If I didn't, I probably would be surfing or snowboarding and bumming off. I might. I don't know. I haven't been in that situation. I can't speak for it. But what I'm simply saying is, yes, you go to work potentially for money, but we're going to put a pause there. However, what it's not about the money to me means is when I had like my window film business, when we talk about Tint Wizdom, when we talk about anything, the main focus is not about the money. When I'm speaking to a customer, I'm not thinking about the money. When I'm dealing with a problem, I'm not thinking about the money. When I'm trying to sell them something, I'm not thinking about the money. I'm thinking about making the customer happy. I'm thinking about giving a great experience. I'm thinking about finding the solution they need. Because if I do those things, I will make money. That's the point. And however, if I go to work and instead I say it's about the money, then when a customer has a problem, my answer is going to be from the perspective of my money. All my decisions are going to be my money. Can I hire somebody? Well, what about my money? If it's about the money, I'm going to pay my staff less because I'm going to say it's all about the money. And when you start steering your business about the money, you're going to be fucked up. It's not going to go well. I'm sorry. It's just not. Whether that fucked up comes in the sense like you have a hard time keeping a team, whether that fucked up comes in the sense you make a lot of money but nobody likes you, whatever that scenario is, I don't think you can steer your life as it's all about the money, because if it's all about the money, I don't think it works. And I really think that if somebody's listening to that and they don't really understand it, you don't have to right now, but you need to just have it in your head so you can understand as life passes that you'll might know it's not about the money. Now, let me speak to something else really quick, which is I mentioned that I haven't been put in a situation where I have so much money that I don't have to work. But I do believe that at some point, and everybody has a different point, that, it just becomes a little more money in your bank. It's not the most important thing. When you don't have money, you need to make money, of course. You need to make money. But as you have more money, you don't need to make as much money. What you need to do is fulfill yourself and be happy. So even if you have a ton of money, you can see that it can become not about the money. So if you don't see how it's not about the money, I think that's up. I don't think you should say it's BS. I don't think you should say it's bullshit. I think you should say, there's something there. I don't understand it, but I'm going to try and get there. And it's not I'm not saying anybody's less or more or I'm smarter or whatever. I'm just simply saying that from my perspective, I understand that statement of it's not about the money. And if you don't, I don't think you should say it's BS. I think you should say, I just don't understand it yet. And that's it.
I think that's perfectly said. You got to understand that a lot of people in this industry still live paycheck to paycheck. A lot of people. A lot of guys have car payments. They bit off a shop they can't really afford. They hired an employee. They have a family member probably working there that probably should quit or get fired. They're paying probably bills on a car they probably can't afford.
You could be car paid off, working your ass off by yourself with no employees, but you have a few kids and you have these bills and you're the only income and so on. And it can still be a struggle. And if you mentioned something earlier about people spending the money. That's a difficult thing to understand, that when you do a tint job, it's not subtract the cost of the tint and that's your profit. That's not how it works. And if you mishandle that money, it might not affect you when you're smaller, but when you start to get successful, it's going to become harder for some reason and more confusing. And that's an important learning lesson that you don't see until it happens. And at that point, what do you do?
I've told people, they always ask me, how did you grow Sunstoppers? And I said, I lived off the income of one shop for 10 years. I drove a company van for 10 years. I reinvested every dollar I got back into the company. I mean, Eric, I don't even know how many thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars you've mailed out in tools and t-shirts, man.
$13,000 last month just in apparel.
How much?
$13,000 just in apparel in the last 28 days. I have the numbers. 12 and change. I rounded up to 13. That's just hoodies and shirts and hats in the last 30 days. But go ahead.
I spent $28,000 on marketing last month. Okay, Sunstoppers. Most people in this industry, and I'm not saying most, I'm saying a lot of people in this industry don't even spend $1,000 a month on marketing. They just think because they have relationships and repeat business that they're just going to be the best tent shop in their town because they're going to do the best work and they're going to grow and they're happy in their own little world. But if you want to grow your business and you want to succeed, you've got to invest in your business. You've got to, have t-shirts, you got to have branding, you got to have pins, you got to have nice stuff, you got to have a vehicle that's got your logo on it. A lot of people just want to live very simple. And then there's a lot of guys out there that want to go, man, I want my second location. I want to conquer the world, but I don't know how to get there. Those are the guys I want calling me. Those are the guys I want. Because the guys that are complacent and lazy and just want to sit around and say that they're the best, don't call me, man. Because I can't help them because they already think they're the best. I'm not the best. My rule was in my mind is I'm not the best at anything. But it will take the best to beat me at everything. It'll take the best because I'm going to give it my best, and I'm smart in certain areas. And then in certain areas, I'm not so smart, but I acknowledge what I'm not smart in, and I hire people smarter than me in those areas. Can I put tint on a car? Man, I can tint a car in my sleep. I can do paint protection in my sleep. I can sell flat glass and window tint. It's so easy. The problem is this industry is too easy.
Well, I'm not agreeing with that. There's a lot of challenges there, but I understand what you're saying.
The sales process, people come in, they want their windows tinted. The only two reasons people don't get their windows tinted on a car is availability and price. You can negotiate the price. You can turn around and squeeze them in if you need to. What I'm saying is in industries, it's too easy in the process that people call because they want their windows tinted on a car.
Right.
They want their windows tinted on a car.
It's an opportunity. It's a industry of opportunity. There's no doubt about that.
There's so many opportunities. And we haven't even scratched the surface on this industry. We're at a fraction of where it can go.
All right, so I got to read some of these comments, and I think I was deceiving in what I said. I wasn't trying to brag or be like, but I think I should put some context in that 13,000 amount. That is our 13,000. That is total. That wasn't my marketing expense. That was total in clothing that went out. Some of that was purchased. Some of that was giveaway. That wasn't our total giveaway. I didn't realize that's where you were going when you mentioned the clothing. So I just want to be clear to everybody that wasn't all giveaway. Now, I do have to answer some questions real quick. Patrick Francis said, why don't I have a hoodie? Patrick, because I asked for your address, I think at least once or twice, and I feel like I didn't get it. So that's why you don't have a hoodie. Film Pro LV, you said neither do we. You're right, you don't. However, we wrapped your trailer. We designed and wrapped your trailer for you because we believe in you and want you to be successful. And I feel like we've done other things. I'm not calling you out, but I am saying that we are here to help. We help people the same way, Mike, you're saying, hey, every business is different. Yep, same for us. Every business is different. And we're not here to just be like, hey, we'll just like, open pockets to give everything away. The idea is we're trying to help people who need help. If you want something, if it's going to help you, I want to help you. If I can wrap your vehicle, I want to wrap your vehicle. If I feel like that's going to help you, if you can't afford to, or you don't have the time to, or you don't know where the resources, we want to fill in the blank. So I just want to kind of clear up. And I know I didn't have to respond to all these, but I enjoy it. Film Pros LV, you said, I want to grow my business, but I don't want to grow someone else's name. But here's the thing. If your other question was, will you come help a location if they're not Sunstoppers? Mike has already said the answer is yes. He will come help a location if it's not Sunstoppers. But I kind of have an issue with you saying, I want to grow my business, but I don't want to grow someone else's name. You want to grow your business. You want Mike to help you grow your business, but you don't want to grow his name, but you want him to grow your name. And he's probably going to say yes to that anyway, because he'll go out there and train you and help you and whatever it is. But I'm simply saying you have to stop looking at it like you're a squirrel holding onto your nuts, man. You got to put those nuts down and go out to the forest and see what else is out there. Because if you're so concerned about those two, like however many nuts you have, little sack of 4 or 5 nuts, and you're not willing to see what else is in the forest, eventually those nuts are going to rot. Or you're going to eat them, or you're going to look aside. The point is you need to be a good hunter. You need to see what's out there, not be so concerned in here. Because when I tell you, like, I try to share information publicly, and I feel like Mike does too, and I really applaud that for anybody who does. You look at like Matt from Tint Stuff. He's always live streaming his installation. Anybody who's sharing information, you have to go, wow, I really appreciate that. I want to put that out into the world. And you'll see that nobody can steal anything from you. If you put it out there, nobody can steal your ideas. They can't steal anything, okay? You'll get back more than you give. So I really like, I like Lance. I really like Lance. And that's kind of why I want to pick on you a little bit, because you can't feel like it's you against the world. It's either you against the world if you want it to be, but you're the only person making it you against the world. Everybody else wants to help.
You know what's so cool, Eric?
What?
Is I have so much confidence in my ability to come out somewhere that somebody says I'm not changing my name. I've had probably a dozen people, and I'm not kidding, a dozen, that said, Mike, I want your help. I want to join Sunstoppers. I just can't change my name. And you know what I tell them? I'll still help you. I'll still coach you. But you will eventually want to be part of Sunstoppers. It's almost like that fraternity that you had an opportunity to get in here. But as we keep doing this and we keep doing this, and then all of a sudden in Northern California, there is a Sunstoppers. And you go, holy shit, a year ago, I was talking to Mike about helping me with my business. And fuck, there's a damn Sunstoppers here now that I have to compete with. And I should have freaking joined them.
I mean, look, that might not be a bad thing. That might be a good thing. It might be a terrible thing. It could be anything. Everybody's life is up to them. This isn't about anybody feeling like they have to do something. The idea is this is a resource. This is an opportunity. If you gravitate towards that resource, if it's something that you're interested in, you should explore it. If it's not, if you feel like, if you're in that position of explain to me why I should be, I just feel like you're going to miss a lot of opportunities if that's the angle you go. When somebody comes into Tint Wiz or goes on to on social media and they go like, why should I use Tint Wiz? Like in a way, like I need to sell them on it. I can't sell you. I don't want to sell you on it. I want to explain it. I want to show it to you. I get so excited when somebody wants to see it. But if you tell me, convince me why I should use it, I instantly become like turned off. I'm like, I don't want to convince you of anything, man. Like, it sounds like your mind's a little made up. And in the future, if I do a good enough job and you change your mind, then let's do this. But I don't want to convince anybody. So what I'm simply saying is, don't come from the angle. Don't catch yourself if you do it, because I think everybody does it. Catch yourself when you come up with a, why should I? Or I already know that. Go, maybe I already know that. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. Be open-minded. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, everybody's emotionally attached to a brand. But the thing is, when you have a national brand one day, a national brand that's all over every 50 states, all over the country, and you are a part of that, you're going to be proud to wear the logo. You're going to be like, I'm a part. I mean, why do people buy a Wendy's? Why do people buy a Subway? Why do people want to be part of any type of franchise? Because it's a proven system. It's Chick-fil-A. Like, I'm going to go back to this, okay?
If you got a Chick-fil-A franchise, if there was one, fucking killed it, right?
You're killing it.
Right. And if you had, I don't know, like there's definitely a fried chicken place that I'm thinking of, you'd still be killing it. Or you could not be killing it. It could be the chicken shack out of business. It's hard to say what path you're going to go on.
You pull up to a Chick-fil-A anywhere in the country, you get great service, great food.
Yeah.
It's simple, it's easy, and it's the process, okay? It's the imaging and branding. Listen, we're not there yet. We'll get there. I think Sunstoppers is doing something different than anybody else in the industry's ever even thought of. But when you can resource yourself around a team of people going in the same direction, there are strengths working together. There are so many strengths working together. When you can turn around and say, Mike, I spent $1,000 on my website. Give me that $1,000. And it's like putting extra fuel on a motor that's going to power you 10 times stronger.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I feel like there was a question or two. Patrick said, give away your best information. If you do, the business takes care of itself. Patrick is obviously like, he's 100% correct. Just 1,000,000% correct. Cody Becker asked, what do you think about us, Eric, with Sunstoppers? So Cody, I think, in my opinion, I would say that you and your dad take some time and talk to Mike Burke, and you make your decision on your own. I can't make your decision for you. I don't know whether it's a great idea, not a great idea, and so on. Because here's the thing. We all have our own personal goals. We all have our personal interests. We have our personal lives and so on. I can't tell you what's going to be good for the rest of your life and you fulfill your dreams. And everybody has variables. But what I can tell you is it's worth taking the time to speak to each other, get a conversation going, and then you'll be able to make a decision whether it's worth it or not. But that's the right step. It's not guessing. Eric can't guess if it's a good idea, and you shouldn't guess if it's a good idea. You got to taste it and find out. You got to talk and open conversation.
If anybody wants to give me a call, all I can tell you is this: I'm genuinely have the interest of your success at interest. So when you call me, the only thing on my mind is, who are you? How long you been doing this? What are your goals? And what can I do to help you achieve them? That's it. It's like, it has to be a marriage of what do you need from me and what can I give you that you don't already have? And I'm trying to look out for their best interest. So when you call me, I'm going to ask a bunch of questions at first. It's really just me asking a bunch of questions.
And that's what it should be. Because it's not a matter of prove to me why I should give you my money, and it's not a matter of prove anything. It's a matter of, like, let's find out more.
What do you need? How long have you been doing this? What's your shop look like? Send me some pictures of your shop. What are you doing for marketing? How many Google reviews do you have? 30, and you've been in business for 15 years? You only have 30 Google reviews, and you've been in business 15 years. You're not the greatest window tinting guy on the planet if you don't have 200 or 300 Google reviews. I mean, are you kidding me? We get 200 a year. One of my stores has 400 Google reviews. It's like simple stuff that these people overlook in business just mesmerizes me.
Well, look, I feel like I want to push back on you saying it mesmerizes you. It mesmerizes you maybe because of your experience in the industry. But if without that experience, whether you get it from years in the industry or you get it from learning from others around you, even if it's on Facebook, even if it's on a Tint Wizdom, if it's anywhere, without that experience, look, there's a lot of shit going on. How do you know? How do you know what to do? What's important, what's not?
I feel like one day with me in a shop is priceless for people in this industry, man. Just have me out for one day and I will blow your mind.
Well, I think what I really appreciate about what you're saying is I'll help anyone. Doesn't matter what brand you're in. Call me. I'm not asking you for money up front. I want to get to know you. I want you to get to know what we can offer you. And that to me, how can you, like, if you find yourself not receptive to that, if this sounds interesting, but you're not moving forward to at least have that conversation, I just say, why? Why not hear what you have to say? I want to hear what you have to say. Even if I don't want to do with anything you say, I want to hear what you have to say, right? And if you don't, then that's not a big deal either. But I'm just saying, I feel like you should. Lance, I want to thank you, by the way, for your comments, because you riled me up a little bit, and I really like that. So, and Lance, I love you. So thank you for busting my balls about the hoodie and the comment. So anyway, Lance said, so when you leave a shop, do they love you or hate you? Have you left anywhere that they hate?
Me? When I leave a shop?
Yeah.
These people can't wait for me to come back.
The employees, not the owners. So here, Lance, you know what? Here's the thing. Lance, you joined this late. You just said that. You missed a comment. You go back to the beginning of this. You're going to see a comment from Joseph. And Joseph is one of Chris Queen's tinters, kind of, I think, a head tinter. And he was saying, Mike Burke was there last week. There's pictures to prove it. And he was saying that everything Mike did introduce them to change their lives, I think was his word. And I commented, here you have an employee of a company coming into Tint Wizdom to praise Mike. Either Mike paid him off really well, or this guy's really happy with Mike, as so is Chris Queen from the beginning. So I'm just simply saying that's kind of my point is, this isn't like a back of a magazine ad or a snake oil salesman that's coming into town that you're trying to figure out if this is real or not. This is somebody that's saying, have a conversation. You want to talk to other Sunstoppers locations, I'm sure that's an option. And, figure it out, right?
The thing is, I genuinely want to help people. I've had a lot of success in the industry. I've worked very hard, and this industry's been very good to me. And I feel like my passion and my goals are to be a leader in the industry. I think the industry is craving a spokesperson. I think the industry is craving someone to go out there and actually to mentor. I mean, you can go to college right now and you can go and get coaching and you can hire people at different career levels. Our industry just doesn't have the level of professionalism support. Like you're now the IT support for Tint Wiz. You now are bringing things to the table that I didn't have available to me years ago when I was tinting. I just now have access to this. Okay. So you think about where we are today. Smartphones, we put people on the moon. We have electric cars. We have, all the shit that's going on in the country right now. We're just now in the last year getting Tint Wiz.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
really, am I right? I mean,
Trust me, I know. I couldn't believe it when I first got into the industry, and I was thinking, well, I'm going like this. It felt like this industry is behind in a way.
It's a dinosaur,
and it's because most businesses, it's not an industry where big business has penetrated. It's an industry that's ran by family owned shops for the most part. And that has kept it. And that's a great thing. That's an opportunity. It's a beautiful thing. It's a community. Like, I don't know what other industry has a community like this. It's the most beautiful thing, but it also presents opportunity, and you have to see how it's going to evolve over time and so on. That's all.
I love this industry and I love the people in it, man. I'm telling you, when I go to dealer conference at Expel, I'm just around my peers. I've got a college education and I sold cars and I've worked in different businesses. And I was just, when I started tinting windows, man, my parents were kind of like, what the hell are you doing? And my friends were like, dude, you're tinting windows? Really? What are you doing? So I just felt like I was beneath everybody. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like I wasn't the right guy to hang out with these people. So I started like gravitating towards just hanging out with people who came in the tint shop. And now that I have other peers, people in the industry that I'm traveling outside of Charlotte, Indianapolis, I'm traveling to Florida, I travel to Chicago, Boston, and I meet people like me who have the same energy, same passion, same dreams, same heartache. It's like all of a sudden I found a brother. I found a twin. It's like, oh my God, give me a hug. Oh, dude, you go through the same problems, same issues that I do. We can talk at lunch. We can talk. I can't get that. Where do I get that? I can't get that with anywhere else, man. So having the camaraderie to call me, I mean, I'll be honest with you. If other tint shop owners don't even want to call Sunstoppers for help and you need a therapist to talk to for business ideas, give me a call. It's like,
right. And it's not a 900 number, right?
No, it's 800.
Toll free. Toll free, right? Hey, Marco asked, what specifically sparked this passion to help people? Must have happened within the last 1 to 3 years, right?
I had a back surgery that crippled me.
Like how?
I'm paralyzed in my left foot and my left calf. And I used to do MMA, mountain bike, and work out. And I used to be able to tint 15 cars a day. And I'm not the same man I used to be. And if I sit around and sit in the bed, because I had to reteach myself how to walk. I do physical therapy 4 days a week currently just to walk. And so when I have people that need me and I have people that want me to come see them and visit them, my foot is numb. My left foot is completely numb and tingles all day long. And I'm in pain almost 24 hours a day. I sleep about 2 or 3 hours a night. So to fuel me, I have to live off adrenaline. You ever seen that movie Crank back in the day?
I think so, yeah.
So where you have to, he has to keep his heart rate up all day long?
Yeah.
Well, if I keep my heart rate up, it keeps me alive. If I go sit around and get bored, I get depressed, I get lonely, and I start thinking about my foot. I start thinking about how I can't run, I can't jump rope, I can't do all the activities that I used to be able to do as a man, as an extreme athlete. And so when I feel wanted, needed in my industry and people call me and want me to help them, I don't think about my foot anymore. I mean, it completely goes away. Like the thought of my foot being numb. When I was in Chicago, I didn't once say a fucking thing about my foot. I was like, all right, we got to get this paint protection on. We got to run the plotter. We got to change the needle. We got to do this. I was so busy doing this with my brain all day long, I forgot about my ailment. I forgot that I was crippled in my left foot. So the passion really comes from the more I stay busy, the more I stay helping people, and the more I stay coaching. Like right now, I'm talking to you. I'm not even thinking about my foot. I haven't even thought about it like at all. Like it's not there because I'm living off this high of adrenaline.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that question was asked because I think that brings even more clarity to the not being about the money.
It's about the passion. Here's the thing. Chris Crane helped me more than I helped him. Being around his guys, having dinner, having a drink, hanging out at night in the shop, talking shit, talking talk, it motivated me and helped me way more than it helped them.
That's fucking really nice. Like really just nice, you know? I'm glad that question came up and you share that because that's, you know, look, it's like we said earlier, there's everybody's in a different stage and different position in their life and different things going on. And it's not about judging, it's about understanding where everybody's at and working together because we're all going through this life together and we can all get through it better together as well. But it's you can't come from an angle of who's better, why you, what are you really thinking? And you just kind of have to open yourself up and experience everybody. And it's going to work out with those people that are good. And that's all.
These shops actually motivate me more than I motivate them, even though I'm a coach and an inspiration and help people and guide them and give them, you know, guidance and things. When I leave their shop, they've just given me a battery pack from Tesla that I can get through the next month.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I've called literally since I've left Chicago, I've called Chris every single day since I left Chicago. Prior to going for paint protection, we were talking maybe every other week. Now we've talked every single day. He's calling me, man, I just got another lead for paint protection. Man, I got this Maserati coming in. I got a flat glass job. I just got like we're both like every morning we're like two little squirrels out there just going like this back and forth on the phone. So I've motivated him. He's motivated me. And that's what I said. I jumpstart their battery. But to be honest, he keeps me fueled. These guys are just, I've got a couple of guys. My guy Boston Rob, he's like, I'm going to see him for my birthday next Friday. I'm flying up to Boston to eat lunch with him because he's another fuel source for me. I'm that guy that's craving fuel. And the fuel comes from these shop owners who are passionate and driven, who want to grow, who want to make things happen. And when I get around them, it's like a spark and a fire, and it's like racing fuel. Like, boom, here we go. We're about to make a bomb.
I know. And we've done 2.5 hours. And I'm just saying, to that point, to me, it flies by. I feel like to you, you probably didn't know it was 2.5 hours.
I had no idea.
And it doesn't show. It's not like you're you're not dead, you're not quiet, whatever. And I'm just saying, that's an example of that racing fuel. Like, because this is, you know, when you're doing something you love and you enjoy.
This is for me, man. I live for the adrenaline.
So Lance actually put a really great comment in here. And Lance has been in the industry a long time. I don't know exactly how many years, but I know he's been in there at least a decade or two. And you've been in there at least 2 or 3 decades. I've been a little over a decade. And I want to agree with what he said, which was it hasn't ever been this way in the industry. And I agree with you. And I'm curious for your take on it, Mike, because at least from my perspective, if we go back 5+ years ago, my sentiment was other tint shops, and I'm speaking when I was a business owner, I'm saying my sentiment was other tint shops are going to potentially steal customers from you. Don't talk to them, especially not in flat glass. Be careful with your own manufacturer, because if there's a big project and they find out about it, they're going to cut your balls off by going to either another dealer or they're going to do it themselves. These are the things. It was not this way, in my opinion, before. And what I attribute it to is I think social media has brought this to happen. And then the companies that want to be on the up and up and start to see that that's a better way, start to take advantage of it. And I think Expel's one of them. I think I'm one of them. I think you're one of them, in the sense that we're saying, hey, this is a new era. That cutthroat shit, that's going to be dead. It doesn't work. And if that's what you think you're going to do, survive, you're killing yourself, you're going to bleed yourself to death. I can show you that that's not the case. And I feel like that's what we're in. So Lance, I think you're right. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, not the case.
Totally right. And the thing is, one thing I got pissed off about years ago is the dealerships, the car dealerships, the manufacturers are going in and starting to like you're taking my dealerships, man.
Craziest thing in the world. Craziest thing in the world to go into dealerships, cut out the tint dealer and train.
Then all of a sudden, my sales rep's going to call me years ago and go, well, you know what? They went in house. They hired some tinters, but you know, when they have overflow in cars, you're still going to get the work. And I'm like,
bullshit. It was like the biggest scam pulled on the car tint industry was dealer programs. because the dealer programs weren't bringing in the local dealers. It wasn't like they were
fucking bullshit.
It wasn't like they said, "Hey, we are a manufacturer. We have some power behind us. We can go into all your dealers in your area. We're going to convert them to our film, and you're going to service them." That was not the case. That's what they should have did, because that would have built loyalty, and then right. Go ahead.
Because then they hired a bunch of fucking bullshit tinters that went in there and fucked up a goddamn cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is, they're charging $500 for a preload window tint that we rip off a week later.
Right. It could have been, okay, so like when I bought my last vehicle last year, it came with window tint on the two front windows, ceramic window tint. What brand? I have no idea. It came off the vehicle, and now there's new window tint on there. But what I'm simply saying is, if a manufacturer would have taken an opportunity to go in there, it could have been a learning process to where everything about the process of window film on your new vehicle benefits the tinters, benefits the customers. They learn, they get more, everybody gets more out of it. And instead, it went the other direction completely. It went to shit.
Turned me off. I tell you, I will not use certain manufacturers ever again in my life because of the shit they pulled on that crap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. So you're right. It hasn't always been like that. And that's why, look, when these things come along, like, it's understandable if you're skeptical, but it's worth listening to. And it's worth looking into, because here's the thing. Looking into it doesn't mean you have to do it. You only do it if you want to.
If you can save money, generate leads, and cut costs by working with Sunstoppers, why aren't you doing it?
I don't know. Somebody commented earlier. I feel like, was it a plant? But they said, I'm just kidding. But it was a really convenient comment. It said that they're seeing nothing but Sunstoppers in their area lately. I was like, I don't know where they're at. I want to look up for the comment. It was when I was getting riled up about the hoodies. But I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know where to go from here, because I think we've gone through kind of the ringer of it, of the sense of like, if it sounds interesting, look more into it. If it doesn't sound interesting, I still think you look more into it, because you don't know what might be interesting. And then you make a decision for yourself. And if you don't do it, don't feel bad about it, because you're not making a commitment for the rest of your life not to do it. If you do it, don't worry about it, because you're not committing the rest of your life to it. So it's not that big of a decision that you have to like guess and question. Just look into.
Well, let me talk. I'm going to end this, and we're going to get off after this. Big industries, AT&T, Tesla, GM Motors, every big company in the world pays top dollar to consultants to help them run their businesses more efficiently. Correct?
Correct.
Who does that in this industry?
Right.
This guy right here. And I don't charge top dollar.
Right. So we can cut it off there, I guess.
Business consulting, tint consulting, efficiency, training. And once I get very, very proficient with Tint Wiz, when I visit your shop, I will implement the Tint Wiz and walk you through handheld how to use the shit.
I can't say no to that. That's it sounds like a great idea to me. I love the sound of that.
When you sign up, any future stores that sign up for Tint Wiz, you get the first 5 months free. I'll pay for it.
I mean, that's on recording, so that is what it is. And there is a Sunstoppers location using Tint Wiz. So if he listens to this, you might want to knock on Mike's door and ask for a rebate back. I'm just kidding.
But you sign up from this video, and you sign up for Sunstoppers, the first 5 months of Tint Wiz is free, because I'll pay for it.
It's a hell of an offer, y'all. Thank you, Mike, for making that offer and putting it out there. And
well, that's the first $500. The guy was like, he goes, hey man, would you waive the first the first month's fee? Well, guess what? I'm waiving it. I'm putting it towards the first 5 months and giving you Tint Wiz up front.
And if you're a Tint Wiz user and you log into Tint Wiz, you'll probably see a way that you can get a limited amount of tri-edges that we have available, which are usually our most asked question. They're only for Tint Wiz users. They're in there now. You have to go in the app. but you'll get some free triages while supplies last. So if you haven't been in your Tint Wiz account today yet, you're probably missing out on the triages. So just want to throw that out there.
Brother, you're awesome, man. Thank you so much for being so cool. And consider you a friend. And I'm going to get really pissed off at you if you don't ever come to Charlotte and see me, man.
I'm definitely going to come to Charlotte. I do have to answer all the phone calls that I'm going to be getting because you told people to call me. So after that, I'll be And Cody said, well, shit, I do $500 in an hour and a half. Why aren't I doing this? Well, that's a good question. I'm not saying I'm not saying like, it's obvious to you why you're not doing it, but it's a good question. You should ask that question and explore it.
I'm just here to help, man. Honestly, I need these people in this industry more than they need me, to be honest. Even though I can provide a lot of help and coaching, they're helping me more than I'm helping them.
Likewise, what business does anybody have without the community, without tint shop without customers, Tint Wiz without tint shops? It does. It's nothing.
I'm gonna say this one thing. I don't know how many people are still listening, but one thing that I'm trying to do. Have you ever skipped school? Like when you were in high school? Did you ever?
I couldn't. There was no way. I went to like a jail of a school. There was literally gates and.
All right. Well, I've got this new thing that I've been going through my head. It's called skipping school, right? And what I'm trying to do is wake up in the morning, get on a plane randomly, go have lunch with a shop, go hang out with a shop, and then fly back the same day and call it skipping school. So it's a random act of, I just want to pick a shop who inquires, fly out there for the day, randomly pop in there with my videographer, come and video your shop, hang out for the day, fly back, and people go, Mike, what did you do today? Oh, I went to the airport at 8 o'clock this morning. I flew to so-and-so. I hung out with a buddy, had a couple of drinks, had lunch, and I flew back tonight, and I'm back in Charlotte. They go, well, why did you do that? Because I can.
Yeah, why not? What a fun time.
It's called living. It's called living. We're living in a time right now with COVID and all this crap that's going on. We need each other. These phones and social media is great, but we need person to person. I need to come see you and I need to give you a hug. You need a hug from me. Okay. I need to see you. Okay. This phone stuff works great, but I need to see you. I need to have a drink with you. We need to shoot the shit and we need a hug.
Okay. I like it. It's like a hug initiative.
But you understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying completely. And my mind went to even if you're out there saying, like, this is why I feel like if you're out there saying, for whatever reason, I don't want to be a Sunstoppers. From my angle, like, I don't like I'm Tint Wiz. I can't be a Sunstoppers. I still want to support the shit out of you, even because I want to watch those videos because that's going to be entertaining. What I'm saying at all levels, I want you to be successful. I want other people to be successful. I even just want to watch the videos. I want the entertainment.
Just have fun. I just want to have fun every day. I want to get on a plane. I want to have fun.
Exactly. And that day that you show up at somebody's shop, I bet you they're going to have fun. And that is that one day, that one smile, that is, you just kind of hit on it again as to like what it's about. Like, if I'm not trying to like in any way like boast or something, but what I'm simply saying is when I brought up earlier, like if you come into live chat, you have a question and you have a problem, you have a question and you leave with a t-shirt. My goal there is I want to put a smile on your face today. I don't care how I do it. If I send you donuts to your shop, I just want to put a smile on. I can't do it every day of your life, but if I can get you once.
I'm going to tell you this. This is really funny, and we got to go.
Let's do it.
I was going through Starbucks the other day through my drive-thru, and I was getting a cup of coffee, and I made some comments, and I was joking around with the lady, and the lady looked back at me, and she goes, "I was having a bad day. You made me laugh," and she handed me a little card that said the next one is on them. And all I did was make that lady laugh and give her a smile.
Yep.
And she turned around and gave me a gift card for the next time I come there. The next coffee is on them.
You gave her a smile and a laugh. She felt good. She gave it back to you. You felt good. She probably gave it to the car behind you, not a gift card, but she gave him a smile and maybe made a joke. And she might have been smiling when she got home and treated her kid differently. And there's so many freaking ways.
Contagious.
It was contagious. It's contagious. It's a ripple. You got to do it. That's what I mean. Open up and
if you want to smile, laugh, and have fun every single day, join Sunstoppers.
I like it. All right, we'll wrap it up there and I'll let you go. Thanks everybody for watching. This was truly one of the most fun Tint Wisdoms. Thank you for everybody for leaving comments. And Mike, thank you so much for the almost 3 hours of chatting. I definitely want to give you a hug now. So I don't know. We'll figure it out.
My boy, love you.
Love you. Bye. Bye, everyone.
See you, man.